That's weird. This thing hasn't actually updated. Okay. Greetings, mortals, and welcome back to Planescape and cats. Okay, so the cat is still whining, but that's normal. As soon as I start talking, the cat starts whining. So let's see here. We need to go. We don't want to go the alleyway. We need to get ourselves moving in the right direction. Whoa, was there a place called Shalandra? We didn't go in here. This is like an actual like store or something. So we're gonna head in. You know what? We're not. I want to get swapped over to the correct class, which means that I'm gonna start moving to where I want to be. So we're going to the northwestern portion of the hive. Nope. Okay, I'm going to basically just ignore everyone in this area in order to go to where I'm going to. Alright, so we're here, and I'll try to finish up the quest I'm looking for quickly.
Hey, we're being watched, Chief. Just look natural.
Just look natural.
Casual.
Hard to look natural as this character. There's nothing natural about this guy. So I'm trying to remember where this place is that I'm going to. And I need to close the app I've got open because it doesn't actually register. No, I'm trying to close you. Close. Let's see. And there we go. Okay, so we're all set now. And let's take a look here. This is Trashville Alley to the Trash Warrens. Ah, the Midwife's Hut. Okay, so we passed right by it. So, little preemptive knowledge can help things out substantially in a game where you can lock yourself into things that you don't want. So, let's talk to old Mebeth. Sup, Mebeth? Swaddled woman looks like she has all the color bled out of her, everything from her hair to her shawl to her robe. All her colors are gray. The only splotches of color on her come from several strange herbs which are tied around her belt by their stalks. The herbs make a strange swish sound as she moves, like a broom. Greetings. The elderly woman turns and stares at you, and you notice the gray shades blanketing her body extend to her features as well. Her hair is wispy gray, and her eyes are like chips of granite. She frowns when she sees you. And who might ye be? I don't know who I am. So you not know yourself, child? Hard to piece together the man behind all that tracery and scrawling scars, is it? Maybe. Who are you? Have you not heard of old Mebeth, then, the midwife of the square? Have you not now? Well, now you have, for I be Mebeth. So what do you do? I set bones right, drive the cough out of the sick, yank at the squealing, stubborn babes, mend cloaks for a rag or two, make cures and herbs and other such. Be needing a cure or three, do you, then? Well, I'm immortal, so no. Aye, you been needing some cures to look at you. Do you want to buy some, do you? Too late to be asking for them, I think. Let's see. I have a question for you. So are you a witch? I say not as to what I am and isn't, but what should be wanted to know, so fool bad that for you be hounded old woman barking and stiffing for a juicy bit of gossip. I want to learn magic. Pah, I'm no teacher, no schoolmistress all set up to teach like them in the big fest hall. There's others somewhere, I'm sure, that'd spill the dark of it. You'd be wasting your time with old Mebeth, would you be? I doubt it. Oh, aye, why do you want to learn such things? Because I need power. Ha! And all desire for the ladder of the art will always remind you that there's another rung just above you, and there's a bunch of people and things that'll be on top of it too. There'll always be someone better, and they'll learn ye if you crave too much. Well, that sounds quite useful, actually. If there's always another route, another rung higher, then you can always seek more power. He's the kind of person to want power for the sake of power. He doesn't want power over others. He wants power, just continuously. If there's always another rung, then he always has something to strive for. Ha! One should make songs rather than make magic. Songs have more beauty. Magic's been made dull, commonplace, soiled by the mob of people that have trapped through it. I'll teach you, but first you'll need to do some things for me, you hear? Like what? My legs aren't good for walking around Sigil, and there's errands that have ye run. I'll need you to fetch me some herbs from the market. There's spireweed, easterly and southerly, from here in the hive market. Here's a sample. Okay.
Updated my journal.
You twist the black seed in your hand, and as you do, you feel a small bite. Then a small drop of blood oozes from your thumb. There are tiny barbs on the seed like teeth. Nibbit snorts. Careful with it. Show it to one of the fruit merchants at the market. They'll know what herbs you seek. Okay. So do you know a guy named Farad? Farad? That... You watch as Nibbit spits once, twice. Toot, toot, toot. Then follows it by making a semicircle over her heart. That gull-tiered. What should we want with the likes of him? I need to find him. He's not in Ragpicker Square, that much I can tell you. You need to find your way under the square to get you that tiered spider's kip. Even talking about him leaves a foul taste, it does. Under the square? Aye, he's buried beneath the piles of trash, him and his boys, and a tough time you'll be having digging him out of that nest. Let it be. Okay, how do I get down there?
Journal.
You tell Farrad's got a gate that leads to his nest somewhere in the square. It's just a matter of finding it. You might want to ask some of the others, some who travel a bit more than old Mebeth. Alright, well, rather than risk getting a bunch of experience from asking too many questions, let's go to the place that we need to be to. And we're going to go back to doing sort of like a thorough exploration once we become a mage. But I just want to make sure that I'm getting... I'm getting this part done first. So I just want to be so southwestern portion of the hive, because yeah, this doesn't look like what I'm looking for. Okay. Whoa. Well, something crashed. Can wait for the program to respond. It did open up the menu. I'm just going to crash this. What's the error? Okay, well, the game crashed. And I can't see the error message because the error message was hidden behind it. And when I force crashed the program, it closed the error message. So we're going to go ahead and resume life. And we resume the life here.
I'm gone.
Oh, good. I was concerned that we would run into the same crash again and that I'd have to... Alright, so this is Hive Dwelling, Braskin's Kip. We've got a bunch of merchants here. Alright, so let's see. Is this where I want to be? Plates, jugs, takers, drink from the goblets of the finest lords. Alright, so let's take a look. Plates, cups, takers, cutlery, and the like. They look to be of varying degrees of quality, but some of it appears quite nice. As you're looking them over, she presses against it. See anything you like, sir? No. Oh, sir, but wait. Are you sure there's nothing you need? Surely for your own home or a gift. No. I don't think that he would even get that she's trying to seduce him. Oh my god, Requind? I should learn magic from him. So am I in the right place now? This is the marketplace. So I feel like this should be where I'm... No, just passing by. Okay, so... Whoa, did that guy just say fruit? Okay. Ah, hello there. I just sample some of the delectable treats from across the realms. I need some herbs. Man takes the seed, looks at it critically as he presses it between his thumb and forefinger. He winces, a small drop of blood appears on his thumb. Ah, the seed's got a bite in it. Yeah, I noticed that. Do you have the herbs? Can't seem to take his eye off the seed. Lad, I don't know if there's anyone who has what your friend seeks. To be square, I've never seen such a seed before. You would need someone who cultivates seeds such as this, for I have none. So where would I find them? Don't know the dark of that. You'd be hard-pressed to find a gardener in a hive. Okay. Okay, can I see what else you have? All manner of delicacies. Alright. So, okay, what do... Okay, I will do this for now. So, I think I actually do know what I'm looking for, now that I think about it. So... I remember a character that I'm supposed to look for. I'm looking for a gardener. And he's like, there's not going to be a gardener anywhere around here. And I suspect differently. Oh wow, there's a centaur thing there. There we go. Mourns for trees sounds like a gardener. You see a tired-looking, sorrowful old man who's gazing at the ash tree in front of him. He's mumbling something to himself and tapping his chin as if he's trying to figure something out. Occasionally he shakes his head sadly. Greetings! Greetings to you too, friend. How does it say I find you? I'm doing pretty good. That's good, friend. Hope your good fortune continues. And how's the day find you? Fortune finds me well, though I'm saddened just the same. So why's that? It's the trees, here in the hive. They're dying, friend, and no one cares. It may not matter to some, but it's important to me. I feel it's a shame to see the last tatters of life and beauty in this world left uncared for to die. Can you understand that? Yes, because Komanatin is all about immortality and all about finding immortality for everything, and he doesn't like death, so... Really? Oh, I mean, wonderful. Perhaps you would... In any case, that's good. I suppose you have some questions for me to ask. What is it you were going to ask? It's difficult for anything to survive here. Just look around and you'll see what I mean, friend. I'm not sure it's possible for the trees to thrive here, even if they were able to get enough light and clean water. But if enough people care, really want them to live, I just know they'll survive. They'll turn green again and flourish. That makes sense, because we are in an extraplanar area. I am right, I'm certain of it. I sense a sense of conviction surrounds him like an aura. It seems unlike the man you first spoke to. That's all I'd ask of you, friend. Just care for them. Hope for their recovery. In time, should enough people want it, it will come to pass. Can you do that for me, friend? Yes, I'll help. Excellent, my friend. Excellent. I thank you. You've given me back my confidence, my purpose. Perhaps I can find others like you who will listen. Perhaps they'll make a difference. What about your companions, friend? Would you speak to them on my behalf? So, Morgan? Oh yeah, sure, Chief. Whatever you say. I'm serious. Yeah, I can. If that's that important to you, I'll do it. Alright, I had some questions. I need herbs sprung from this seed. Can you help me? What an odd seed. Are those teeth along the edge? Barbs, perhaps. Where did you come by it? Midwife. She needs herbs. No. This is the only seed of its kind I've ever seen. The barbs on it are sharp indeed. Perhaps you should hold it. Unless you can make that one grow, I cannot... Again. I've never seen a seed like it before, friend. If we wanted it to grow, would it be possible to make it grow? Perhaps if you cared enough to see it grow. Alright, I'm going to will it to grow. To your surprise, there's a crack and the seed splits, twigs splitting from its surface to your fingers. Instinctively, you drop the seed, but the talon-like twigs wrap around your wrists and will not let go. What the hell? I think the barbs on those new branches would be more than enough for what your friend needs. I'll return it to her then. Thanks for your help. Awesome. So we just got. I think that's badass. So it's just attached itself up to us, and the northeastern portion of the hive is faster to get to where we're going from there. So we're just going to go this way. It also means that we're less likely to run into something that we haven't before, and we are going to. That's interesting. I think the screen blurs when I move it.
Done.
We must pretend the precepts of Erectwit.
Done.
Okay, so mission successful. We can pop in here. Say hello to old Mebeth.
Right.
Oh, I returned with those herbs you wanted. Now maybe you can get this damn bramble patch off my wrist. Is that so? If so, think it off then. Okay.
Updated my journal.
Creaking and snapping, the black barb brambles unravel themselves from your wrist and form a tangled ball of brush and twigs. It looks like a nest of dead black snakes. Think it into a picture frame or some such. Something more structure and less angles. Okay. The branch ball creaks and twigs, bending and twisting until the branches have lent themselves into a small picture frame, 2 headspans on the side. Almost unconsciously, you imagine shape the barbs so the back of the frame so that it can be hung on the wall easily, and as an afterthought, you move the remaining barbs to the inside of the frame so they can be picked up from the edges. How's that? Ha! Square enough it is. Good work, child. Good work. This'll do nicely. Is that all you wanted it for? Aye, well, this is enough. Aye, but there was one thing I forgot to tell you to fetch when you last left time. He'll take you back to the merchant square at will. Look for the cloth seller Giscorl. He has some rags of mine that he was supposed to wash, and long has it been since I first asked him to do it. Alright, I'll be back.
Done. All right.
Onward we go, onward we go. So she's gonna just send us on a bunch of errands. This is like a Mr. Miyagi situation. Wax on, wax off. Or in this case, go buy a bunch of
I'm gone.
random crap. Okay. So... was this guy not here before? I don't recognize this name. See a spindly-looking merchant with a brush of gray and red stubble across his chin. He wears several layers of brightly colored robes, so much it looks like a flag with arms and legs. Greetings. I, Giscorl. Black scar tissue. How'd you hurt your hands? Giscorl doesn't seem to have heard. He answers only with a spiel delivered in some flat monotone. Giscorl buy cloth, sell cloth, wash cloth, mend cloth, and wear cloth. Okay. What? Washcloth? Yes, Nebeth, rag picker? I know, I remember. Comes back with a flattened mass of green rags, thin as paper, yet so stiff they look like they could double as wooden boards. The rags are caked with a greenish lime starch. They look like they could take years of soaking to relax them. How many times did you clean these? Giscorl washcloth, starch cloth every 5th day. Washcloth, starch cloth every 5th day. Giscorl washed many years. Always starch cloth on 5th day. Giscorl's ritual. But they're ruined. Washcloth is Giscorl's ritual. Must starch cloth every 5th day. What's the point of doing it every 5 days when they don't need... Never mind, just hand them over. Give cloth. They're heavy. It's like carrying an armload of bricks. Okay, well, I guess I'll take the ruined cloth over to Mebeth.
I'm gone.
Oh?
Done.
Being attacked.
Yeah.
Damn.
Whoa, jeez. Got me good. Da, da, da. Okay, so he's down.
Done.
Okay, I do not have enough HP. to bother with those other guys.
All right.
That's kind of cool, though, that they just randomly attacked me. So we're going to save this.
Done.
Brought your wash. I think Iskor was a little heavy with the cleaning ritual, though. At least they won't tear or bend. His hands were all scarred and he seemed slow. Well, child, sometimes one burns with the art, and other times the art burns ye. So what? Mayhaps there's some who's using the art like breathing. They stroll about with pointy hats and stinkweed pipes. Then there's hedge wizards and plains-touched gypsies and fortune tellers and half-seers and midwives who flicker with the art. Them have a harder time of it. Aye, so to speak, in some ways he's no different than he was. Addicted to habit and ritual he was. Clunk. Aye there. Now, there's one last thing I need from you. So, what do you need? Only this. I need you to take some inks for scribing some ingredients into one of the cookery books. I'll need you to fetch some from one of the merchants. Alright.
Updated my journal. I'm gone.
So, sending me back to the market. You know, you'd think that she could tell us to just do all of these things at once, but, you know, it's fine. Oh, jeez. Jeebus.
Huh? Okay.
Do I want to heal him first? I actually do.
All right.
Rather than reload if someone dies, I'd rather just deal with it. Prevent it from happening in the first place. Okay.
What?
Done.
So much damage, oh my god. Okay. So let's keep going. Yep, I don't have enough inventory space if somebody... What?
What's up, Chief?
There's another one.
Done.
At least we're chasing this guy the right direction. This is so funny. Okay, so now that I can actually walk without causing problems. There we go.
All right.
The collector's just like standing there like, well, this could be interesting. Alright, so we're now gonna go talk to some other person. That guy is not there anymore. Oh yeah, he is. So who was it we were looking for? Some woman. It's not Profira. Craddock. It's not Reekwind. So who am I looking for? Kosajai. Let's see. This is the woman who's selling that other stuff. So Gauha. The finest Toledo blades. So I don't see. Crier of Essenon. Okay. So I was supposed to find Craddock for Bane the Sender, but I don't want to talk to him yet.
See the shine on that? See the edge on it? I tell you what, Cutter, that'll do you your business.
Okay, so I don't want to... Okay. I'm busy. Okay, so I'm looking for some woman. Is this
Come on in, Basher. We have the best blades in town.
where I'm looking? No.
All right.
I haven't played this game in a very long time, so I have no recollection of where this person would be. So, oh, this is a man. Okay. Okay. So there's Profira.
See the shine on that? See the edge on it? I tell you what cut it out of the
This person named Mir here. Is that the person I'm looking for? No, I'm just looking for Kosajai. Creedon. But this person is supposed to be in the marketplace, and the marketplace is up there. So
Can't afford to get cut off.
alright, maybe I should just talk to this Profera person. Okay, can't talk to her. Okay. She's right here. I completely. How did I miss her? Wow. Okay, I'm talented. Okay, so fish my child, fish heads. She said that you sell ink. Ink? Nay, sir, I sells no ink. I sells just fish. She mentioned you specifically. Heh, well, Kosa Jai was me dam's name and me grandma's name, so it could be any of us, yet they're both in the dead book, so only this Kosa Jai matters. No idea what she's on about. A midwife in Picker Square, you say? Don't know her, I don't think. Okay. Well, she never. This doesn't surprise me, but okay. So, I think that we should be back. I think the thing triggered in the background. Now, hold on, your midwife friend's not all wrong. I think I know how you can get ink, but it may not be the ink you're looking for. The ink I'm thinking of bleeds from the gills of the Brogotov Inn, it does. It bleeds ink? Aye. Thing is, that fish is not for eating. It's got horrible taste, scalds the tongue. You can ask Miriam. She pitches her fish down the streets in the southerly way. She might give you some of the fish she needs on her pole. Okay, so that's one old woman. Next old woman. Hi, Miriam. Greetings. Oh, hello, sir. Oh, my. I was thinking of you one of my regular customers. Tuna, sir? Mackerel? Sea cucumber? No. I had some questions. I'm looking for a Brogotov Inn. Aye, that fish. That fish is a strange one, it is. Not many have heard of it unless would want to eat it. Difficult to kill, and even in death it seems to live. Not many want to latch their teeth around something that still writhes. So you have one?
Journal.
Aye, but the ink, you'll be needing something to carry in. Have a bowl or cup, perchance? Or a tankard. Maybe one of the merchants is selling a tankard. Yes, okay, let's go get a tankard. Or some other container. I have slots for rings, and I'm going to have to equip these, because I have no space. And what do the rags do? I guess they don't do anything. No, we have a blood churn. Anything else we can stack here? Not that I can see. Okay. Oh, you're the weapon guy. You're not gonna sell it. So let's see if she has a tankard. I need something to hold ink. Oh, yes, many kinds. The price range for a few coppers to several hundred. Oh, okay. The cheapest one you got. This looks like it was used on someone's skull. It'll do. Thanks and farewell. I love it. Okay, I brought the tankard. So she twists the fish like a rag.
My journal.
That's great. Okay, so we got some ink. I love that she's just got like the derpiest like collect quests ever.
I'm gone.
One ear. Okay, wonder
Done.
how he got that name. Okay, in we go. Oh, so here's that ink you wanted. Prime ink, fresh it is, aye. You've done well, child, all I've asked. Now I ask you again. After all you've seen, do you still want to learn the art? Yes, after all, the guiding goal of your errands was to test my persistence, was it not? Yes, mayhap, child, mayhaps. And that's not all. You knew who I had to see to accomplish each errand, didn't you? Mayhaps, child, mayhap. If and so, what did your senses tell you about them? Mourns for Trees showed me that my beliefs affect the world around me. Squirrel taught me that the ritual is a wasted effort if the purpose of the ritual is ignored. Miram taught me that no matter how much I think I know, there's still much I can learn from another's eyes. Oh, child, you'll be a master sorcerer one day, you will. You have the known of it yet. You've come to old Mebeth for help. You have. What can the old midwife teach one such as you? So much. So you'll walk the path then. Well, first things firstly, just having the knack for the art isn't enough. You need some means of giving it focus, usually spells. The spells are usually in a book. So the art demands you have a spell book or a 4 can you cast spells. Can you read? Yes. Let's test it. Can you read this? Looks like a recipe. Examine the recipe. The writing on the recipe swims before your eyes, each symbol twisting out of focus whenever you try to read it. Almost instinctively, you relax your eyes, allowing them to take in the page all at once, and the symbols suddenly bleed together. The recipe lists measurements, ingredients. It appears to be some minor divination. This is a minor divination, isn't it? It looks like a spell that allows the user to see the nature of an item to see whether it's enchanted or not. Who are you to test old Mebeth so? Are you some fiend? Not to my knowledge.
Updated my journal.
Well, not expecting it, was I? What you see is written in the language of the art. If you're not a mageling yet, it should be all swirl, a jumble, a mishmash. Yet clear as crystal, you pluck the sense of it right up. Mayhap you tell old Mebeth why that is? Let's see. I think I might have known one. This seems like the most reasonable thing, so. Or else a natural gift you may have. No matter, no matter. You've just shaved seasons off your learning, you have. And I'd been looking for someone to handle the chores around here, I had. Okay, if you need any help, you can still ask. No, don't worry yourself about that. Well, you can read spells well enough, but spells are no good for you without a book to put them in. Do you have one? The blackbird picture frame you made. She picks it up carefully and studies it. This'll do. It's just a frame. Ah, but so are ye, child. Still holding the frame, she picks up one of the starch rags you got from Giscor. With a yank, she pulls off the greenish starch surface film. It flutters in the air like a wispy bit of cloth. Whatever Giscor uses in his wash, it works better than curing, stretching, and stoning does on a normal rag. Can't afford parchment, I can't. Parchment? She takes a starchy film and pulls it over the black barbed frame, latching the rag's edges onto the hooks around the frame until it looks like a small greenish painter's canvas. It's missing something. Well, it needs something painted on it. Aye, or written on it. She takes a tankard of ink you've given her and sets it down next to her. She dips one of her fingernails into the tankard, then draws it out, mumbling to herself. She begins to scratch symbols onto the frame, one by one, still mumbling to herself. All's done. Mebeth stands, drying her ink-stained fingernail on her robe. She tilts her head regarding the strange framed page in front of her. A page for your spellbook it is. Inside your book are your recipes, your spells, if as long as they sit in the book, though, they're just words. The art demands you pluck the magic out of the book and put them in your attic. Your head. A 4 can you can tap their power. Go on. You put them in your attic by studying them, memorizing them. You usually need to rest first before you can do this again, though. Any questions? Yes. Why not? Okay. No. Okay. Oh, no questions, eh? Well, now you should have questions. You know all about the memorized spells, do you? You're a sharp one. You don't need any more of Mebeth's words all gobbling up your precious time. You're a master sorcerer already. Forgive me, Beth. I meant no questions on what you'd said. Please explain how to memorize spells. All right, then. Here's the dark on how you memorize the spells. Pick the spells you want to stick in your head from your spellbook before you go to sleep, and when you wake in the morning, they'll be buzzing in your head like flies ready to be let out. And how many can I spell? Cast? You can cast only one, maybe perhaps two, before you need to rest again. As a tiny flitting mageling, there isn't much room in your attic. So use your spells wisely until you get wiser in the art. As your power increases, you'll get more room in your attic for spells. Okay. You can only cast spells you memorize, so if you want to use the art to say mend something twice, you need to memorize the spell how many times? Twice? Aye, twice, right enough. I'm gonna get more of them. Keep your eyes and ears out for learning. Even common folk might have some minor magics to teach. There's also scrolls, recipe books, and even some stranger items that have spells inscribed on them. If you find one, just examine it close and copy it in the book if you want it. Got it. I can also show you more spells if you return, especially when you've learned a little more of the planes in you. Oh, thanks. Before you go, child, you'll need some magics for you to whet your appetite. You should copy these into your book so they can go into your attic as soon as possible. Thanks. 5,000 EXP. Wait, there's more. These will protect you on your travels, child. I no longer wear them myself, so go ahead and take them. Thanks again. Alright, child, don't tarry here any longer. One such as you has other ways to spend one's time rather than hanging around old Mebeth. Now, come on, Mebeth, you're not that old. Not compared to me. Pah, you flatterer. Your tongue is so lined with silver-edged shame about Tezu. Get ye hence. Thanks for everything, Mebeth. Pah, you can thank me when I'm playing with the alcove with them when you learned. The art's damned many a fool who sought to bend it in the ways the art weren't meant to bend. Now get along with you.
I feel stronger.
I feel stronger. And like a level 1 mage with 8,000 experience. Oh my goodness. And I just clicked on level up and it... Okay, we need to close this. Clicking on level up minimized the game. I gained 2 hit points, so I must have leveled up twice. Okay. So when you level up in a class that is not the highest level that you've achieved, you'll only get 1 hit point per level. So, but you still get hit points for every level that you gain. So you can increase your HP by quite a lot as this character. In addition, you always get HP as if you were a fighter, regardless of what class you're leveling up in. So that's cool. So plus 2 armor class. Oh, wow. And memorize 2 additional first level spells. So that's a really good earring. Well, pair of earrings anyway. And let's see. Recipe Blood Bridge. Alright, so you succeeded in learning the spell. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. And let's take a look. What is my... It doesn't say... I don't see a list of my percentage chance to learn a spell. I'm not sure if you can fail to learn spells or not. So I now have, wow, 4 level 1 spells, is it? Okay. So forecasting's a level 1 spells. And let's see. This allows the caster to share a portion of their life with others, weakening himself but strengthening others. That's actually ridiculously good for the protagonist here. So we got Identify, we can get Shielding. And we can now start clearing out some of this crap we got. Okay. In our inventory. And let's see, what else do we need to do? Greater Warding. Okay, so I already... so this also teaches shield. Nothing too interesting of that. And lesser warding. That's also shield. Can I do anything with the cobblestone now? No. Anything else to do? We've cleared out a decent portion of our inventory. And now we need to figure out how we're going to handle the situation here. Got dagger. Alright, so let's go into our spell book. And armor gives me armor class of 6. Spell lasts until the wearer sustains cumulative damage totaling more than 8 plus 1 per level of the caster. Okay, so this is a spell that's very good to have. It lasts pretty much forever until you take enough damage. Blood Ridge is a 2nd level spell. I don't think that this is going to be worth it for now. I think Strength is a better alternative. And we want to have 2 identify spells at all times. And this is a shield spell. Do I want... I think I'd rather have identify than a shield spell, because shield doesn't last long enough for me to care. Okay. So we can save this. So I'll get +4 to my AC from that one spell. And I'm going to go ahead and talk to Mebeth again. See if she has anything interesting to tell me. Let's see. So, I'm missing my journal. Haven't seen one. If it's in the square, which I doubt, since folks don't travel much with books and the like, it's most likely been sold or stolen. Was it something important to you then? A magic thingy all glowing and sparkling with magic, eh? If so, you might never see it again. Oh, maybe not. Okay, well. What do you sell? I sell rags and herbs and cures and charms and mixes of poultices and all that wash. Also, if you find a queer item you can't figure out, bring it to Mebeth. No promises, child, but mayhaps I can riddle out what it is. So what do you have to sell then? So we can buy all these scrolls, including a scroll of Friends. And Friends is a really useful spell. It even stacks with itself, which is great. Let's see. Once charmed... So you get 2 to 8 points of charisma, and it stacks. But it's very short duration. So, but you can cast it repeatedly in order to get the benefits from it repeatedly, and thus... Ooh, Charm of Infinite Recall. What does this do? Oh, this allows you to identify stuff. Okay. Scroll remove curse. That could be useful. It's a 4th level wizard spell. Cool. Okay, well, we can pop out of here. And now I need to figure out where I want to go next. I think that I'm going to actually go to the southeast portion and explore there first. The reason being... Actually, I'm going to talk to that one guy first.
I'm gone.
Do I want to? No. Basically, what I'd like to do is I'm going to ignore all this and basically act as if I'm not... As if I'm just now sort of leaving. Not from an RP standpoint or anything. Obviously, I did all this. But I'm going to just explore to the south and then end in the north with Ragpicker's Square. Because Ragpicker's Square, I know, is eventually where I'm going to need to be. So what I'm going to do is... I did not ask this guy over here about Farad, so I'm going to ask him about Farad. If it ain't the Hive's own Saint Assad's. That's the questions. I'm looking for a man named Farad. Do you know where he is? The name to be known to me. I'm not fond of the name either. So what can you tell me about him? He's one of them collectors, one with a long shadow. There's quite a few boys at his beck and call. He might not be Lord of the Realm, but he's not a smart one to tangle with. So, do you know where I can find it? Aye, but I'm doing you a favor telling you. One of my kin fell into his lot a few months back and spilled some of the dark on old Farad. To hear tell it, Farad's actually got his kit buried somewhere under Ragpicker's Square. To get it, there's some kind of portal you need to jump through while Ragpicker's carrying some junk in your hand. Oh. Alright, thanks for the info.
I'm gone.
So he actually knew exactly how to get to Farad's domain, which is kind of cool. So we just need junk in our inventory, which isn't hard to accomplish. And we can pop down here. Okay, so we got some hive thugs. We got a damsel in distress. Sure. You see a pretty young woman. Her hair is in disarray and the bodice of her dress is torn. She looks about in desperation, then notices you. Greetings. She runs up to you and grabs your arm. You notice the front of her dress is stained with blood. Help me, Cutter, please. They're killing my sister. Who? This drunken man who followed us from one of the taverns. We thought he meant us no harm. Please, Cutter. There's no more time. Wait, first you said they were killing your sister. Now you say he's killing her. Which is it? I'm distraught. I made a mistake. Please help me, Cutter. Examine the blood. You glance at her dress and look at the blood. Although it does appear to be real, it's completely dried. It must be hours old. That blood is hours old. What are you up to? You see her eyes flick with the blood stains in the back to you. You think you can hear a hint of nervousness in her voice. You're mistaken, Cutter. Please help me. My sister's dying while we tarry. Okay, well, you're up to something. Tell me what's going on. She looks into your eyes and then glances at the scars that cover your body. She swallows nervously and you can see her pale before your eyes. I'm supposed to lure people in the alley nearby. They're waiting there to take your jink. Let me give you some advice. Tempted to do this, but no. This is not something that Commoditon would do. This is definitely something Arctole would do, though. So never mind. Go away. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and go into this alley.
Done.
Okay. So we've got a Dark barking. Greetings. Oh, farewell then. Well, that's a tree with one snapped branch too many. No sense chatting with the Shousatects? They're a faction that don't have any rules except they keep one in their head for too except don't keep one thought in your head for too long. They're sometimes called Chaos Men. No need to explain why. How do they get members? They just seem to attract members like flies. Well, members that are crazy or chaotic enough, I suppose. I don't think they have any recruiters, though you really can't say anything about them for sure. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna pop in here. This is an inn, I believe. Yes, this is the Smoldering Corpse Bar. So we're gonna explore this bar first.
Done.
I'm gonna look at this Ignis guy. So this crackling, billowing creature twists slowly in the iron grill on the floor in the bar. It might have once been human, but now its skin is charred beyond recognition. Streams of fire form a wreath around the creature's body, and the flames lick it with a few remaining pockets of flesh, causing it to bubble and run like wax down this creature's skeletal frame. So I'll examine it. The heat surrounding this creature is incredible. To your surprise, the iron grill the creature floats above has sagged and bent from the heat. At first you thought the heat came from the grill, but now you realize it emanates from the creature. As you watch, flecks of ash drift from the writhing corpse and float slowly to the ceiling. Greetings. The thing makes no response. It writhes slowly in the flames. Doesn't seem aware of anything other than the fire that surrounds it. Its skin is flame, its heart is flame, and you know within some shadowed corner of your memory that this thing is dangerous. Okay. So welcome to the Smoldering Corpse, Scarred Man. Okay. Who's that burning by the entryway? The despair you saw on her face flits about again in a black-winged shadow before she masks herself. That's Ignis, one of the greatest wizards ever to come out of this slummy excuse for a cesspool. They caught him and opened up a channel to the plane of fire through him, and now he's just a gateway for it, keeping himself alive by force of will alone. If someone could douse him for a few moments, it'd give his life back again, but they don't make enough water for that. So what's your connection to him? I was Ignis's lover, and he my beloved. He loved the flame more than me, and now he's become the flame, and I love him. I love the flame, but that's all done with now. Now I wait for him to douse himself. I sell what little I can just so I can be near him. Okay. So who are you? I'm Drusilla, and you must be clueless. Don't ask how I know that. It just shines off you. I mean, that seems reasonable, yeah. Okay, let's see. Journal. A journal? Oh, sure, I keep an eye out for all stray journals, just in case some scarred man walks into my favorite bar and starts asking about it. Do you ask everyone that, you mean? What a fascinating life. It's gonna go with number 2. I don't know that any of these are particularly, like... Let's see. Collector Farad. Farad, the Collector King. You can probably find him in the stinking ilk of the trash warrens at the far side of the hive. Good luck getting any answers from him. He's a sly devil, he is. Alright. What can you tell me about this place? Here? This is the smoldering corpse, though some people smolder and ain't dead yet. He's just keeping himself alive till someone comes along to help him out. Sods who like to see people in pain come here. Fiends like it, folks who don't much care about being bothered to come here too. The name alone keeps out most of the Burks. Alright, thank you. I'm gonna go ahead and talk to him again. Okay, so I can't do anything about that right now. So let's talk to Ilquix. Gentle voice. Hello, traveler. My name is Ilquix. Can I be of assistance to you? I'd like to ask you some questions. So who are you? I am but a humble man with a slight flowery, poetical bent and tendency toward the supernatural. I regret that I have none of my supplies here, or I would be most eager to teach you the ways of power. Perhaps some later time. Oh, interesting. So what about this place? This place? The Smoldering Corpse Tavern. Fine establishment with a fine owner. Barkus is a true gentleman, ambitious enough to increase his standing to boot. These, I feel, are the most useful qualities one can possess. Tell me about patrons. The patrons of this tavern are many and varied. I have spoken with most and find them delightful, with the exception of those creatures of law. They taint the air with their presence, leaving an unwholesome stench in an otherwise pleasant environment. I recommend speaking to Barkus. I understand he requires some aid with a trifling matter. Then we have that O character. I'm still trying to understand him fully. It is quite the undertaking, if I say so myself. Those are the folk of interest here. The others, well, perhaps I'm too discriminating. So why do you despise creatures of law? Ah, fine question, my friend. My upbringing has been on the chaotic side of the Great Ring. You may speak with Candrian Ilborn, a misnomer if ever I've heard one, of the plains. He fancies himself a great plain walker, and to return from my digression, I have lived many years with chaos, and agreeable. To me, the taint of law, as in those creatures there, is reprehensible and tyrannical. If I am to be crushed underfoot, I'd rather it be by an individual than a machine that knows nothing of emotion. I don't think that Commonaton would want to get invested in like agreeing or disagreeing. There are many who would agree with you. Let's see. So who's the Burning Man? That? Ha! That's the last unfortunate who chose to exercise his individual will without the strength to back up his desires. His name is Ignis, and he was a pyromaniac. He burned and didn't burn the right people, and wound up channeling more raw power than he could control. Now, well, you can see what came of him. If you wish to learn more of him, perhaps that poor creature Drusilla can help you. Okay, well, I think I'm done with you for now. And this is the O person he was talking about. You see a man standing stock still. He isn't moving a muscle. On closer examination, it appears he isn't even breathing, just standing. His eye sockets are empty holes in his face. Contained within the bounds is a flat gray light that appears to dance with the possibility. Looking into the sockets, the eerie, empty feeling of limitless void shivers through you. As if you had gazed into a sliver of eternity, the head slowly swivels toward you. You notice that no muscles appeared to move under his skin as he turns, and he speaks in a pure, bell-like tone. Well met, Wanderer. You have forgotten again, haven't you? Do you know me, stranger? As he opens his mouth, you get a feeling of eternity again. Inside his mouth, you see no tongue, no teeth. It's almost as if the man were a shell surrounding an illimitable expanse. I've spoken with you before, and you always forget. Your endless quest to discover yourself ends always in your amnesia. You draw close to the truth and recoil. Let us hope that you have the strength to endure your existence. So how do you know this? I know that you, like a fly, rise up from the wreckage of your old shell, buzz about for a time, and curl up and die at the window of truth. You bumble about the pain, seeking the light without any plan for your actions, and fall exhausted when you fail. You alight on others to feed from them for a time, then move on with no regard to them. I've watched you come here and listen to your words, and I watched you move away no wiser. Will you learn from your mistakes, Seeker? So, who are you? I am O. For some reason, when he speaks the name, it sounds like he's speaking of much more than a single letter, as if speaking his name contained untold possibilities and nuances. No human tongue could ever create such a sound. Okay, so what are you? It is my name. It is the name of a portion of eternity. I am a letter in the divine alphabet. Understanding me leads to understanding existence. I am rich in the true names of half of everything. My being encompasses truth. I am mathematic, organic, metaphysical. So what does that mean? The divine alphabet is writ in the name of everything that exists, from the seed of the hearts of the elemental planes to the core of the great beyond. My brothers/sisters, a single word translates to the two in your mind, and I reach across all that is, was, or ever shall be. We are thought and reality and concept and the unimaginable. So tell me about the great beyond. You would not understand, no mortal being possibly could. It is beyond the powers of comprehension of all but the most powerful of powers, and once they understand, they move beyond the veil of mortal comprehension. I can explain it no more than that. Perhaps sometime you will understand. So what are you doing here? Why, I'm watching the ebb and flow of mortality. And what do you see? You mortals are like wasps. You build your lives/nest from the slimmest of branches, and when the wind shakes your home free, you seek to sting the wind to death. Instead of realizing your foolish mistakes, attempting to repair the damage you have caused to yourselves, and learning from your experience, you bring harm to any who have the misfortune to blunder near you in your time of pain and distress. My advice to you, and to all mortals, stop acting like an insect and start acting sentient. Okay. Yeah, so let's tell him. So you know the secrets of I know parts of many of them. Without a connection to my brothers and sisters, I am but a letter. Alone I am a symbol. Combined we are a language of power. So you don't know the secrets of existence? I did not say that. A letter is still a powerful force even on its own. Allow me to show you. He opens his mouth wider and wider still. The mask of his face tears around his eyes, mouth, and nose, revealing the hint of eternity that you glimpsed earlier. You are lost in it, adrift in it, a part of it. You return to your mundane senses and realize that O has vanished, yet somehow your horizons have expanded. Enlightenment has brushed you, however briefly, across the brow. Wisdom increased permanently. Woo! So we've now got 19 wisdom, which brings us to a whiz that is now... Your wisdom surpasses that of mortal men. You gained a substantial bonus to all earned experience points.
Done.
Okay, so... Let's talk to this Ilquix guy again. And let's see. Okay, the O character is gone. So I was just curious whether the fact that O is gone would have an impact on that guy. You again, eh? What do you want this time? What do you mean? Yeah, you again. You got a hearing problem or something now? You was here about 15 years ago, got all bubbed up, smashed up the place, and left a pile of coin that wasn't enough to pay for the damages. So you plucked out your own bleeding eyeball and tells me you'll get back to reclaim what you got, 200 coins together. What, 15 years of interest? You got about 500 coins. You got the jink pal, I got your eye. I do not have that much. Then you're not getting your eye back. Makes sense? Come talk to me when you got the jink. Okay. Let's see. Can you tell me the patrons? Whoa, I don't make it a point to interfere with the lives of people who give me their hard-earned jink unless they ask me to. So, over there is Kandrian Planewalker. He's got a good one to talk to about any planeswalking questions you might have. He's been pretty much everywhere. Down in the Ebb, Creakiness, and Old Harmonium Basher. Don't hold it against him, and a tout. He's got a good heart in him, and he knows the sigil up and down. Them fiends over there be Aethelgrim and Targaryen. Word of advice, don't deal with them. They might be low rankers in the fiend hierarchy, but they're still fiends. Then you got Ilquix over there. Not trustworthy. And some mercy killers looking for some poor sod. Dacon the Githzerai is a mystery to me. Don't know much about him. He don't talk much. Finally, you interested in earning some free bub? Sure, why not? There's a bummer over there against the far wall hanging about the shadows who's been trying to work up her courage to slip out without covering her tab. I want you to make sure she won't do that. You do it, you got free bub here for life. That seems like a terrible idea on his part. Oh yeah, I'll let you know when I'm done. Because if she's trying to work up the thing now, I mean, she's... While I'm talking to him, it might cause problems. Mokai. See someone dressed in field dustman with a half-empty glass in her right hand. As you near her, she calls out to you. Over here. You notice there's something wrong about her, and your exposure to the dustman leads you to believe that she's just too lively to be a real member of the faction. Okay. Buy a lady a drink. Poison her drink with embalming fluid. Oh my god. You're not really a dustman, are you? Why do you say that? Because you don't act like a dusty and you're not offering contracts. In fact, you're taking money instead of giving it out to the corpse labor they do at the mortuary. No, I'm not a dustman. I just found these robes in the street and I don't have money to get good clothes, and I heard there was a dustman thief around here, but you should probably find him somewhere in the southwest part of the hive. I saw him, but I hid from him. Please don't hurt me. I'm not playing it. You ought to know that you're not pulling it off too well. Now answer some questions. So Barkus says it's time to settle your tab. What are you gonna do? Ask you to pay up? I can't afford it. Can you spot me just 10%? I'll give it back to him and he knows I'll pay the rest. Okay. How much do you need? I need about 100 coins to get started on the debt. Oh my god. So, can you think of another solution? Another way to pay? You could always, kill me. I could, but I'd rather find another solution. Right. Did you want something else? Let's see. So who are you? Me? I'm Mokai. I'm just like to drink here and, I'm just a person, you know? What is this place? Can't you read? You, more bumped up than I am? No, they're just people. I don't deal with people unless they're buying me a drink. Who's the burning corpse? He's not a corpse. He's some crazy wizard. Ask around to tell you the story. Oh my god, 32 messages in one of my chats. Alright, I'm gonna see if... Let's see. I don't see any reason to poison her. I don't think that's silly. Alright, so... So I'm going to talk to him about... I'm going to ask him about Farad, I guess. Farad? Pah! Might as well turn your back and let him sink a dagger in it. Though from the looks of you already have. If you're dead set on finding Farad, pardon the pun, talk to Ebb Creekness over here. You should have something of value. Okay. So I can't talk to that... I can't talk to him about that yet. I'm going to go ahead and talk to Aethelgrin. See a scaled fiend who looks very similar to the one standing next to him. In addition to the pierced left ears, both are black-hued and reptilian with bat wings tucked against themselves. This one is missing a tooth on its right side. Ah, Tegarin, it says. Our old friend has returned to pay us a visit. So he has, Aethelgrin, so he has. Yet his eyes do not gleam as they once did. What do you suppose brings him back to us? What does bring you back to us, friend? So, who are you? Ah, Aethelgrin. Time has robbed our companion's memory. You honestly do not recall us, do you? Truly, I'm aggrieved. But, as am I, Tegarin, truly aggrieved. Yet I rest easy. It has, after all, been many hundreds of years, and we know how the minds of mortals tend to dissipate with age. Ah, well spoken, old friend. We are a pair of Abishai, on leave from our current assignment on Beator. I am Tegarin of the Thrice Damned, so named for my ability to find the best in every situation. This is Aethelgrin, who has earned himself no special name, though not for lack of trying. And once again, Tegarin, you have cut straight to the truth of the matter, though perhaps it is best Not to have earned the sort of notice one bearing the name thrice damned must surely have incurred. Morte whispers to you, Boss, I don't like this. They're not supposed to be here. The Blood War hasn't kicked the Celestials' asses bad enough that any fiend can go on furlough. They want something. Tread carefully. In the meantime, Tagarin continues to respond to his companion. In its turn, Tagarin ignores you as it replies to his comrade. Once again, I maintain that any notice is better than no notice at all. The Abishai turns back to you. Old friend, does this answer your question as to our identities? I guess. So what are you doing? What are we doing? Why is it not perfectly clear, old friend? We are on leave from our beloved assignment, taking ourselves in such much-needed rest and perhaps inducing an additional recruitment for our glorious cause. Our superiors fully support our presence, to be sure. In a more immediate sense, we're taking our entertainment in this delightful establishment. And of course, we are celebrating the return of our old friend. However, the stench of the breezes, which occasionally waft the sense of goodness in the door, debases us somewhat, leaving us physically, mentally, and spiritually weaker. Fortunately, the air in the ward of the city carries a delicious tang of pain and supplication. Wouldn't you agree? Again, the fiend smiles broadly at you. So, what is this place? This is Smoldering Corpse Tavern, one of the more entertaining taverns your kind has seen fit to erect in the city. The poetic justice of the burning fellow in the front of the establishment is really quite a fine touch. Was there something else you wish to ask? Yep. Tell me about fiends. As I see it, there are two kinds of fiends. Those who are correct, and those who are not. Our side, that of the Batezu, is correct. The other side, that of the cursed, hated, chaotic Tenari, is incorrect and must be exterminated. We hold the Tenari directly responsible for the Blood War. Were it not for them, we would have settled the lower planes in peace, and wouldn't have all the bother of fighting this wretched war, nor would the unfortunate spillovers into the other planes be such a cause for concern amongst the namby-pamby and do-gooders. The Tenari are directly to blame for the multiverse's sad state of affairs. I'm gonna go with what differentiates you. Ah, yes, you see, we represent law and order. Those who break the law must be punished. If we have no law, then we are anarchy, and surely you can see that anarchy has done to the abyss. It's spawned horrors beyond imagining. Any excesses the Batezu state may have indulged in are simply to counter the rising tide of chaos represented by the Tenari. We mean no harm to anyone, we just prefer to understand where the boundaries are. Yeah, we mean no harm to anyone. As the lawful evil faction, clearly. Okay. So do you know Farad? Farad? I've heard the name. Is he not a sage of some sort? Necromancer? Or is he a diviner of rubbish? I've heard of him, friend, but I do not have the pleasure of his company. Perhaps some other patrons here can help you. Looking for a journal. I keep no journals, friend, and I counsel that you should not either. Ask my dear comrade Tagarin why, and you shall receive enlightenment. So why should I not keep a journal? Because, friend, it's easy to make the mistake of committing a true word to posterity, and easier still for someone you once trusted, and here he shoots a glance of venom at Aethelgrin, to find that word and use it against you. Indeed, I can even lead to actions tantamount to desertion. Leaving or losing a journal can cost you your very existence. Interesting. Boss, I'm more sure than ever that these Burks ain't on the up and up. Sounds to me like they deserted, like they're looking for some angle that'll elevate their status in Beator. You don't want to be talking to them, boss. You don't want to know the game they're playing and you could get burned, literally. Okay, I'm done. Interesting. The prodigal returns, eh? Have your memories returned to you, old friend? What I mean, dear man, is that time, our old enemy, has performed a vicious disservice to you. It robs your memories and seals your recollections. If you do not recall us, why, it is because you have fallen prey to one of mortality's weaknesses. We are old friends of yours, old indeed. What can we do for you? Okay, so let's talk to Tagarin. Greetings, old comrade. 'Tis truly a joy to see you again. Again. Okay, so same thing. So let's talk to... We've already talked to Ilquix. Let's talk to Elise. You see a trim, muscular man dressed in clothing that is comparatively drab and mundane compared to most of the outfits you've seen in the city. He carries himself with an air of supercilious arrogance. He also seems dramatically out of place here. What do you want? Who are you? I'm Alay, warrior of renown. Surely you've heard of me? Nope. Can it be truly so? Can it truly be that none in this town have heard me or my exploits? Alas, I shall have to prove myself all over again, and here I had thought my fame had spread throughout the world. So what world are you from? I come from the city of Aliburn in the River Tyme. Surely you've heard of its glories and wonders? No matter, no matter. This place is benighted and ignorant when it comes to the splendors of true cities. I'm told that my land is called a prime by the denizens of the city, though a prime of what I don't understand. So this guy's a prime. I was chasing my old foe, the villainous life shade Tyr Tanalel. He pauses, waiting for acknowledgement, and then continues. He conjured his demonic magic and opened himself a doorway and hurled himself through it. Before he could flee me entirely, I threw myself after him and found myself here. I get it, you're one of the clueless. Clueless, is it? I take offense at your words, Sarah, and bid you farewell in the hopes that you should never cross paths again. Let's see. This guy is going to be... I'd like to apologize to you. You wish to apologize? That's what I said. Okay, so this guy is like completely clueless. I don't know what he could possibly tell me. I'm not going to really ask him anything because he just doesn't know shit. He's like a prime, so he doesn't actually know what the hell's going on. He's a prime and doesn't seem to understand what being a prime even means. So the man before you is old. His dry, weathered yellow skin has scars that have traveled... The scars of one who has traveled everywhere and has never rested long in any one place. His pinched face is inhumanly angular and his ears sweep out from the skull, tapering to points. He wears a loose-fitting orange tunic and a strange shimmering blade is strapped across his back. The blade looks to be a two-pronged glaive made from some metal whose surface swirls like a film of oil on a pond. Greetings. The man turns to you, his eyes like a polished coal. He stares through you, and for a moment you wonder if he might be blind. The weapon suddenly turns a dead, flat black, mirroring the guy's eyes.
Hail, traveler.
Hail?
Your eyes have the weight of one who has traveled far to be in this place.
You could say that. I am known as Dekong. The emphasis he places on the word known strikes you as odd yet familiar at the same time. You are not known to me. I do not know myself. That is for the best. In knowing yourself, there would be little in the plains left worth knowing. He falls silent for a moment, still studying you with his coal black eyes. I would know why you have come to the city. I'm looking for answers. I have many questions. Speak your questions, I will hear you. Let's see. What are you? I am a Githzerai. Githzerai? A Githzerai is one of the people. One of the people? A Githzerai. Yes, but what is a Githzerai? Dakon is silent for a moment, then speaks. Our history does not need to be made known to you. We would bleed to death on Time's blade before I recited a fraction of the histories of our people. I would like to know what they are now. Know this and accept it as an answer. We are the people who make our home upon the shifting plane of limbo. With a deft motion, Dakon slips the blade from his back and holds it before him. There we mold the matter of limbo into our minds. We weave cities with our thoughts. As such, a series of rippling waves of metal begins to roll forth from the center of the blade. The pitching crest of the waves match the inflection of Dakon's voice. In its chaos, we dwell with only our knowing to preserve us. We are the Githzerai. So, what is that blade? It is a Karak blade. It is an object that lets others know the rank of its wielder. What does Karak mean? In your tongue, the closest translation is chaos matter. The people may shape it with their thoughts. Okay, shape it with your thoughts. Karak is not shaped by heat, but by knowing oneself. It is a mirror that reflects the will of the wielder on the surface and on its edge. When one knows themselves, the blade is strong, harder and stronger than steel's. When one does not know themselves, the blade is water, formless and weak. So what rank does the blade signify? The blade is a symbol carried by the Zerth. The Zerth is one who knows the words of Zerthamon. In knowing the words of Zerthamon, they know themselves. Okay? Zerthamon founded our race. He knew the Githzerai before they knew themselves. He defined the people. He gave them one mind. Okay? Cool. So what is this emphasis on knowing? All things, whether structure or flesh, their existence is defined by knowing themselves. And if a man does not know himself? When a mind does not know itself, it is flawed. When a mind is flawed, then the man is flawed. When a man is flawed, that which he touches is flawed. Tacone pauses. It is said that what a flawed man sees, his hands make broken. So do you know yourself? Tacone files silent. The coal black eyes take in the distance between that you noticed when you first spoke. So do you know yourself? When he speaks again, his voice has changed. The words echo like a great stone dropped in a chasm. Looks like he's forcing the words from his chest. It is not my will that you know this. Okay. I had other questions. So he does not know himself, or he would not. What can you tell me about the city? It is known by the name Sigil. Among the people, it is known as the city that does not know itself. Ah, what do you mean? The city exists, but it does not know itself. It does not. In not knowing itself, its existence is flawed. So how is it flawed? The city exists in opposition to itself. It has set itself apart from the other planes, yet it seeks to be everywhere at once. Its walls are doors, yet it keeps those doors locked. Such an existence tells of a thing that does not know itself. In not knowing itself, it is flawed. Okay, I'm going to go with 4 because this seems to me like the scientific answer, and Komanaton is nothing if not a scientist. So what if the city is not flawed and you do not see the reasons for its contradictions? There is order in everything. Perhaps there is an underlying pattern that you cannot perceive. To your question, a question. What if the city is flawed and you see its contradictions all around you? To your question, a question. You claim the city's existence is flawed. You have accepted this rather than explore the possibility that something greater may exist. That suggests you are flawed and that you do not search for knowledge, but only for a convenient answer. Oh god, I love this. Tacone files silent. There is no knowing the answer to the questions we have asked, yet the city exists, that is all. I would maintain that we know ourselves by the questions we ask and the ones we do not. If we cease asking questions and accept only what we can perceive, then we will cease to know ourselves. Tacone's voice has changed slightly, become heavier. Such words have been spoken before. I have heard them and know them. So where have you heard them? The words are mine. Once I knew them and knew their meaning. I had forgotten them until you spoke. Tacone's gaze travels through you, and his blade stops shimmering, bleeding of all color until it is translucent. There's a moment of silence, and Tacone looks up to you. I would travel your path with you. I accept.
Your path is mine.
Cool. Endure. In enduring, grow strong. I got the achievement. Okay, so we can go ahead and start talking to him. So I want to keep talking to him.
What is your will?
I only vaguely recall all this stuff. Again, it's been years since I played this game. So there are things that I would know, Tacone. Can I ask you about your teachings? Can you teach me anything of the art? Know that the way of the people is not the same as the art that you have come to know. It is not the energy that gives strength, it is knowing the self that gives strength. The teaching of Zerthamon speak of such things. So would you teach me the ways of Zerthamon? Do you know what you have asked? The texture of Dacone's blade flows until it becomes a stone. To walk the path of Zerthamon, you must know the people. The knowing of such things by one not of the people is a difficult matter. There are those not of the people who have learned the way of Zerthamon, but they do not know the way. I want to know the way of the people and know Zerthamon's teachings. I believe there is wisdom to be learned in such things. So one of the things that's interesting about, what is it, the Githzerai? Yeah, these guys are interesting because they live in the plane of chaos, but they themselves are, like, super lawful. So the way that they actually bring order to the chaos is by just having very ordered and structured brains that allow them to sort of bend the plane of limbo to their will. And it's this, they're such an interesting, like, species. It's just so super cool.
Updated my journal.
Know that I have heard your words and I shall test them. To learn you must know the people. To know the people you must know the unbroken circle of Zerthamon. Dacone holds up the stone disc in possession. The spider-like fingers hook into its sides. There's a click, and the plates of the circle slide away into new configuration. He reverses the motion, sealing the stone. Know the first circle of Zerthamon is open to you. Study it, and I will hear your words. Very well. I will examine it and speak to you again. Okay, so we can go ahead and examine this circle of Zerthamon. Where are you? I don't see it.
I cannot part with that.
So do I have to use this? Okay. The small round stone in the unbroken circle of Zerthamon. It is made up of a series of interlocking circles that fold out from one another. The complexity of the plates and the intricacy of their links prove that the text was constructed by a master artisan. Okay, I'll unlock the first plate. You mirror the motions that Dacone made upon the circle, and the plates give way to your touch, the ring sliding into new configuration. Upon the rings are a series of symbols. The script is like no writing you've ever seen. It is a series of interlocking geometries with circles predominating. Just looking at it, you know the circles, and you know you can read them. So let's read it. Know that we are the first people. Once all was chaos. The first people were thought drawn from chaos. When the first people came to know themselves, they were chaos no longer and became flesh. With their thoughts and knowing the matter, the people shaped the first world and dwelled there with their knowing to sustain them. Yet the flesh was new to the people, and with it the people came not to know themselves. The flesh gave rise to new thoughts, greeds and hates, pains and joys, jealousies and doubts. All of these feed on each other, and the minds of the people were divided. In their division, the people were punished. The emotions of the flesh were strong. The greed and hates, the pains and joys, the jealousies and doubts, all of these served as a guiding stone to enemies. In becoming flesh, the first people became enslaved to those who knew flesh only as tools for their wills. No, these beasts were known as the Illithids. The Illithids were a race that had come to not to know themselves. They had learned how to make other races not know themselves. They were the tentacled ones. They live in flesh and saw flesh as tools of their will. Their blood was as water, and they shaped minds with their thoughts. When the Illithids came upon the people were a people no longer. The people became slaves. The Illithids took the people from the first world and brought them to the false worlds. As the people labored upon the false worlds, the Illithids taught them the way of flesh. Through them, the people came to know loss. They came to know suffering. They came to know death, both in body and mind. They came to know what it is to be a herd of another and have their flesh consumed. They came to know the horror of being made to feel joy in such things. Okay. The unbroken circle is knowing of how the people lost themselves and how they came to know themselves again. Okay. So I'm going to talk to...
What is your will?
So the things I would know. Okay. I've come to talk about it. Okay, so strength lies in knowing oneself. I learned that once someone does not know themselves, they are lost. They become a tool for others. You have come to know the first circle of Zerthamon. You only see the words of Zerthamon. You not only see the words, you have come to know them. Dacone holds up the circle of Zerthamon, his fingers around the edges. There is a click, and the plates of the circle slide in a new configuration. He reverses the motion, sealing the stone. Know the second circle of Zerthamon is open to you. Study it, and then I will hear your words. Okay.
I feel stronger.
And I leveled up, which is great, because I'm a low-level mage and really need to be higher level. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and level up. Spell memorization abilities have improved, and all that jazz. Okay, so inventory. So let's unlock the second one. So, let's read the second circle. Know that flesh cannot mark steel. Know that steel may mark flesh. In knowing this, Zerthamon became free. Okay. Know that the tentacled ones were of flesh. They relied on the flesh and used it as tools of their will. It was a tool of the flesh, and the flesh was content. It was upon these fields that Zerthamon came to know the scripture of steel. During one of the turnings, as Zerthamon tilled the fields with his hands, he came across a husk whose brain remained within it. It had not yet been used as food, yet it was dead. The thought that one of the husks had died a death without serving as food for the Illithids was a thought Zerthamon had difficulty understanding. From that thought came a desire to know what had happened to the husk. Embedded in the skull of the husk was a steel blade. It had pierced the bone. Zerthamon realized that was what had killed the husk. The steel had marked the flesh, but the flesh had not marked the steel. Zerthamon took the blade and studied its surface. In it he saw his reflection. It was in the reflection of the steel that Zerthamon first knew himself. Its edge was sharp, and its will the wearer's. It was the blade that would soon come to be raised against Gith, when Zerthamon made the pronouncement of two skies. Zerthamon kept the blade for many turnings, and many were of the thoughts that he had about it. He used it in the fields to aid his work. In using it, he thought about how it was not used. The Illithids were powerful. Zerthamon had believed that there was nothing they did not know. Yet the Illithids never carried tools of steel. They only used flesh as tools. Everything was done through flesh, for the tentacled ones were made of flesh and they knew flesh. Yet steel was superior to flesh. When the blade had killed its husk, it was the flesh that had been weaker than the steel. It was then that Zerthamon came to know the flesh yielded to steel. In knowing that, he came to know that steel was stronger than the Illithids. Steel became the scripture of the people. Know that the steel is scripture by which the people came to know freedom. Okay. So we can now talk to him again.
What is your will?
Okay. So, that not knowing something can be a tool just like flesh and steel. If upon... So, not knowing something can be a tool, just like flesh and steel. If upon encountering it, you attempt to know its nature and how it came to be. You have seen the words and you have seen beyond them. You have come to know the second circle of Zerthamon. He takes the circle and with death motion he twists one of the links so that the plates slide forth. But strangely enough, the stone still appears intact. He hands the plate to you. Meditate upon it. This teaching, and the knowing of it shall give you strength. When you have absorbed it, you shall know more. I'll study the circle, yet I still desire more of Zerthamon's teaching. So, the next circle of Zerthamon is open to you. Study it, and I will hear your words. Okay. So, we also gained a spell, I think? Did we? So I'm gonna say, because I don't think you can fail in this one. So unlock the third circle. Zerthamon labored many turnings for the Illithid Alafi, twice deceased in his partnership in the cavernous heavens of the false worlds. His duties would have broken the backs of many others, but Zerthamon labored on, suffering torment and exhaustion. It came to pass that the Illithid Arlathi, twice deceased, ordered Zerthamon before him in his many-veined Galleria. He claimed that Zerthamon had committed slights of obstinance and cowardice against his partnership. The claim had no weight of truth, for Arlathi only wished to know if flames raged within Zerthamon's heart. He wished to know if Zerthamon's heart was one of a slave or of a rebel. Zerthamon surrendered to the Illithid punishment rather than reveal his newfound strength. He knew that were he to show the hatred in his heart, he would serve nothing, and it would harm others that felt as he. He chose to endure the punishment that was placed within the Pillars of Silence, so he might suffer for eternity. Lashed upon the Pillars of Zerthamon moved his mind to a place where pain could not reach, leaving his body behind. He lasted a turning, and when he was brought before Arlathi, twice deceased, he gave gratitude for his punishment to the Illithid as was custom. In doing so, he proved himself a slave in the Illithid eyes while his heart remained free. By enduring and quenching the fires of his hatred, he allowed Arlathi, twice deceased, to think him weak. When the time of the rising came, Arlathi was the first Illithid to know death by the Zerthamon's hand and die a third death. Cool. You cannot save while in dialogue.
What is your will?
And enduring, grow strong. Sounds reasonable. The words you speak seem to strike Dacone strangely. As you speak them, his forehead creases and then resettles into his normal passive expression. Your world has brought you the knowing of the third circle of Zerthamon. With its knowing, I impart this to you. He takes the circle with a death motion and twists it so the links of the plates slide forth. He hands the plate to you. Meditate upon his teachings, and the knowing shall give you strength. As you ask the words, you suddenly notice Dacone isn't looking at you. He's holding the unbroken circle in his hand, studying it. His blade is taken on the same texture as the unbroken circle, and Dacone suddenly seems older. Dacone's black eyes rise from the circle and look at you. Know that I did not believe you would come to know the teachings of the circle. It is a difficult path you will walk in learning the way of Zerthamon. Is your mind focused on... Of course. Dacone's fingers feel around the edges of the stone circle, and he twists it clockwise, the links clicking until they settle into a new configuration. He then reverses the motion, resetting the stone. The next circle of Zerthamon is open to you. Study it, and I will hear your words. Okay. Sounds reasonable. And we've got this third circle here. And this gives you Submerge the Will. Yay! And I don't have enough yet, do I? Oh, I do! Wow, so I actually was able to do this. So this is not usable by priests. So this is a +1 dagger. Oh, I also got the Mage's Guard. So this gives 6 AC. So this is the equivalent of the armor spell. So my AC is now equivalent to Morte and to Dacone, it looks like. That's cool. Not too shabby. Alright, so we can save this. Let's use the Unbroken Circle. So let's unlock the 4th circle. Let's read it. Know that the rising of the people against the Illithid was a thing built upon many 10 turnings of labor. Many of the people were gathered and taught in secret the ways of defeating their Illithid masters. They were taught to shield their minds and use them as weapons. They were taught the scripture of steel, and most importantly, they were given knowing of freedom. Some of the people learned the nature of freedom and took it into their hearts. The knowing gave them strength. Others feared freedom and kept silent. But there were those that knew freedom and knew slavery, and it was their choice that the people remained chained. One of these was Vilquar. Vilquar saw no freedom in the Rising, but opportunity. He saw that the Illithid had spawned across many of the false worlds. Their worlds numbered so many that their vision was turned only outwards. So to all they did not see to all they did not already touch. Vilquar's eye saw that much of the place that the Illithid did not see. To the Rising, the Illithid were blinded. Vilquar came before his master, the Illithid Jigitaris, with the knowing of the Rising. Vilquar added to his chains and offered to be their eyes against the Rising. In exchange, Vilquar asked to be rewarded for his service. The Illithid agreed to this contract. At the bonding of the contract, a dark time occurred. Many were the betrayals Vilquar committed, and many were the people that Illithids fed upon to stem the Rising. It seemed that the Rising would die before it would occur, and the Illithid were pleased with Vilquar's eye. It was near the end of this dark time when Zerthamon came to know Vilquar's treacheries. In knowing Vilquar's eyes, Zerthamon forced the Rising to silence itself so that Vilquar might think at last his treacheries had succeeded, and the Rising had fallen. He knew that Vilquar's eye was filled only with the reward he had been promised. He would see what he wished to see. With greed beating in his heart, Vilquar came upon the Illithid Jigitaris and spoke to his master of his success. He said that the Rising had fallen, the Illithids were safe to turn their eyes outwards once more. He praised their wisdom in using Vilquar's eyes and asked them for his reward. In his green blindness, Vilquar had forgotten the knowing of why the people had sought freedom. He had lost the knowing of what slavery meant. He had forgotten that the Illithid masters saw when they looked upon him, and so Vilquar's betrayal of the people was ended with another betrayal. Vilquar came to know that when Vilquar's eye was nothing left to see, Vilquar's eye was useless. The Illithid gave to Vilquar his reward, opening the cavity of his skull and devouring his brain. Vilquar's corpse was cast upon the fields of husks, so that the blood might water the poison-stemmed grasses. So, good reward for loyalty. Okay. So, when one chooses to see only what is before them, they see only part of the whole. They are blind, and just as Vilquar was blinded by his promised reward, so were the Illithids blinded to the true rising. For when they heard Vilquar's words, they turned their sight outwards again, and the rising was free to strike. Know that you speak truly. The Vilquar's eyes blinded both Vilquar and the Illithids. The tentacled ones thought the rising to be no more. When the rising occurred, the ground drank deep of the Illithid blood. So was the victory born from treachery. It is a curious lesson. Why would it be part of the teachings? Okay, so... Dakon's blade bleeds into the dead night black and his voice deepens. For a moment, you think he's angry, but you're not so sure. There's much about the way of Zerthamon and his path that is difficult to know. Do you know why Vilquar's Eye is part of the way of Zerthamon? As part of the telling of how our people came to know freedom, it lets us know that there are those, even among the people, who are not of the people, and even of the greatest treachery, a greater knowing may be achieved. You have come to know the fourth circle of Zerthamon. He takes this circle, and with a death motion, he twists one of the links so that the plate slides forth. He hands this to you. Dakon's fingers click around the edges of the stone circle. The next thing is open to you, etc., etc. Let us look at the fourth circle. And use this. So let's unlock the fifth. And read it. Zerthamon was the first to know the way to freedom, yet it was not he that came to first know the way of rebellion. The knowing of rebellion came to the warrior queen Gith, one of the people. She had served the Illithids upon many of the false worlds as a soldier. She had come to know war and carried it in her heart. She had come to know how others might be organized to subjugate others. She knew the paths of power, and she knew the art of taking from the conquerors the weapons by which they could be defeated. Her mind was focused, and both her will and her blade were as one. The turning in which Zerthamon came to know Gith, Zerthamon ceased to know himself. Her words were as fires lit in the hearts of all who heard her. In hearing her words, he wished to know war. He knew not what afflicted him, but he knew he wished to join his blade with Gith. He wished he could give his hate expression and share his pain with the Illithid. Gith was one of the people, but her knowing of herself was far greater than Zerthamon had ever encountered. She knew the ways of flesh, she knew the Illithids, and in knowing herself, she was to know how to defeat them in battle. The strength of her knowing was so great that all those who walked her path came to know themselves. Gith was but one. Her strength was such that it caused others to know their strength, and Zerthamon laid his steel at her feet. Okay.
What is your will?
So, there is strength in numbers, but there is great power in one. For the strength of the will is of one may gather numbers to it. There is strength not only in knowing yourself, but knowing how to bring it forth in others. You have come to know the fifth circle of Zerthamon. With this knowing, I impart this upon you. Okay. Okay. So, power of one. Okay, so unlock the sixth circle of Zerthamon. Upon the blasted plains, Zerthamon told Gith that there cannot be two skies. In the wake of his words came war. Upon the blasted plains, the people had achieved victory over their Illithid masters. They knew freedom. Yet before the green skies had dried on the battlefield, Gith spoke of continuing the war. Many still filled with the bloodlust in their hearts agreed with her. She spoke of not merely defeating the Illithids, but destroying all Illithids across the plains. After the Illithids had been exterminated, they would bring war to all the races they encountered. In Gith's heart, fires raged. She lived in war, and in war she knew herself. All that her eyes saw, she wanted to conquer. Zerthamon spoke of the beginnings of that which was against Gith's will. He spoke that the people already knew freedom, that they should know themselves again and mend the damage that had been done to their people. Behind his words, there were many other hearts of the people who were wary of the war against the Illithid. No, that Gith's heart was not Zerthamon's heart on this matter. She said that the war would continue, that Illithid would be destroyed. Their flesh would be no more. Then the people would claim the false worlds as their own. Gith told Zerthamon that they would be under the same sky in this matter. The words were like bared steel. From Zerthamon came the pronouncement of two skies. In the wake of his words came war. Okay, so we've got the pronouncement of two skies. Okay. I know that Zerthamon's devotion to his people was such that he was willing to protect them from themselves. He knew the Illithids had come to not know themselves in their obsession with control and domination, so he chose to stop Gith before she carried the people to their death. There must be balance in all things, or life, or the self will not hold. You have seen the words and know them. Dakon's voice slows and his hands grip the edges of the unbroken circle. He twists it clockwise and there is a click as two plates slide forth. Dakon stares at the two plates in his hand. He makes no move to hand them to you. Is that second plate for you? Dakon falls silent. His blade has ceased shimmering, the film freezing upon its surface. He is staring at the second plate, paralyzed. Do you know the sixth circle? Dakon looks up, but his coal black eyes do not meet your gaze. No, there is nothing more I may teach you, but know the way of the people. Know it, and it shall give you direction by which you may know yourself. That's not what I asked. Dakon is silent for a moment, then speaks, his voice slow and careful. It has come to pass that I do not know the sixth circle of Zerthamon. Once I knew it, but I know now I saw only the words. Dakon's eyes stare through you. That is all. It is my path that I no longer know the way of Zerthamon. So I'm going to go with this. So there's one other thing I would know. Why is Vilcor's eye in the circle of Zerthamon? It seems strange. It tells of how the people benefited from a treachery from their own. It seems... I have told you it is part of the telling from the people who came to know freedom. Do you not listen? His voice flattens as if it is reciting a passage from memory. It tells the people that even the greatest treachery, a greater knowing may be achieved. It doesn't sound to me like you believe that. I think there's another reason. Vilcor's eye is in the circle of Zerthamon. It is set there because the sixth circle and the pronouncement of two skies. It is there to justify Zerthamon's treachery to the people upon the blasted plains. Dakon is silent and his blade bleeds into a dead black, teeth rippling across the edge. He divided the people upon the blasted plains, Dakon. He divided your race when they were on the path to victory. I would like to believe that it was because he wished to save the people from themselves, but I don't think you believe that. I do not know the sixth circle as it is known to others. I fear that the third circle and fourth circle and sixth circle are more closely linked than many know. It is in that knowing that I have lost myself. So, in the third circle, Zerthamon submerged his will to deceive the Illithids. Then in the fourth circle, it speaks of the benefits of treachery. Then in the sixth circle, Zerthamon divides his people before they exterminate the Illithids. Do you think Zerthamon's words may not have been his own? Know my words and know the wound that lies upon my heart. I fear that when Zerthamon was upon the Pillars of Silence, he did not submerge his will. I fear his will was taken from him by the Illithids, and when he spoke upon the blasted plains, it was their words he spoke. I fear that he did not know for the people's sake, but for our former masters. So I get interrupted here, so... Then know this and speak of it no more. Know that I shall never know the truth. There is no resolution to this matter, for I shall never know Zerthamon's heart upon the blasted plains. His coal-black eyes glare at the stone circle in his hand. And so I do not know myself because of the unbroken circle of Zerthamon.
I feel stronger.
And I have leveled up. So we can go ahead and pop over to the statistics screen and level up. What level am I? I'm now going to be a level 5 mage. Yarhoo. And look at all those spell slots I've got. So what does this do? So this is like blind. This is bless. So this is AC 2. That's pretty good. Yeah, gotta just keep taking identifies for now. The other thing is that I actually have things I can do here. So what does Power of 1 do? So this is Strength, but it's better than Strength in every way, I believe. Yes. So Power of 1 is just a better version of Strength. So the Strength spell is pretty much useless. And we do not have a 3rd level spell. And we don't have any spells of these levels. That's kind of interesting. It looks like multiple of these are 1st level spells. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at this thing. What do we get here? Okay. So balance in all things. What do you do? Oh, good. It's a 3rd level spell. So, from the separation of the people came the knowing of the 2 skies, and from knowing of the stupid. This spell affects only the caster. Whenever the caster is attacked while the spell is in effect, all hostile creatures within 10-foot radius take equal damage. It lasts for 1 attack per 4 levels of the casters, and the effects are not cumulative. That's actually really good. Like, particularly for the nameless one, because he's got regen. Let's see. If it wasn't for his regen, I don't think it would be very good. There are things I would know, Dakone. Never mind. Never mind. I forgot. I need to use this first. So, I'm going to examine the plates and see if I can puzzle out any new combinations. As you examine the rings of the 2nd circle, you find a strange link in the plate that mentions the laboring of the gift people to achieve the rising. A new circle emerges from the link and you unlock it, pulling the plate forth so you can study it. Know that the rising of the people against the Illithid was a thing built upon many turnings. Many were the people who lived and died under Time's blade while the rising was shaped. The rising was shaped upon slow foundations. Steel was gathered so that it might mark the Illithid flesh. A means of knowing the movements of the Illithids was established. At first weak and confused, then stronger, like a child finding its voice. When the movements were known, the Illithids were observed. In observing them, their ways and minds were known. When the ways of the Illithid were known, many of the people were gathered and taught in secret the means to shield their minds and the way to harness their will as weapons. They were taught the scripture of steel, and most importantly, they were given the knowing of freedom. These things were not learned quickly. The knowing of much of the ways was slow, and in all of these things, time's weight fell upon all. From the knowing of one's reflection on the steel blade, to the knowing of submerging the will, to the knowing of seeing itself. All of these things and more the people built. In time, they came to know the whole. Okay. So let's talk to him about it. Okay. What if there was a 7th circle within the Stone of Zerthmon. It spoke of building the rebellion against the Illithids. So what does the 7th circle speak of? It speaks of time as an ally, not as an enemy. It says that patience can sharpen even the smallest efforts into a weapon that can strike the hearts of the Empire. Your victories may be small, but over time your great victory can be achieved. Will you make this circle known to me? Okay. As you take the circle and twist the links, 2 plates slide from the interior and into your hands. You have no idea where they came from, but the unbroken circle seems intact. The 7th circle remains. Dakone watches you silently. There are 2 plates here. Perhaps we should both study them, you and I. Dakone is silent for a moment. There is much you have come to know in the circle, and your knowing carries greater weight than mine. Know that your path is mine, and it shall come to pass that as you knew the way of Zerthmon from me, I shall know the way of Zerthmon from you. Okay, cool. So, the pupil has become the master. And let's see. Missile of Patience. Okay, cool. So we succeeded in learning these spells. All is right with the world. We can't identify this yet. So that is all that we have for now, it looks like. Okay. So let's take a look at his blade. And I don't think I have anything that I can do with this for now. I'll need...
I'm gone.
I guess I'm going to talk to
What
him.
is your will?
Okay, so let's see. Some questions about the Githzerai. Some questions about the language. Can you teach me the ways in which your people speak? Know that the speech of the people has its foundation in history. All things are a story to us. Metaphor is a tool and inspiration to the strength. Know when we speak of Torg's table, we remember that Torg was noted for his hospitality and goodwill. When we speak of Selkant's heart, we recall the lecherous and cruel nature of Selkant.
Updated my journal.
Takon teaches you some of the common forms of speech. A wise man is said to have wrote the Book of the Anarchs, while the accuser, another form of treason, is to remember Vilquar's eye. It is said of generous people that their cupboards are bare. Common greetings include Hail Swordringer and Zurchai's kin bow to you, to which one should respond, and the traveler is pleased. Dakon is a skilled teacher. After his instruction, you feel capable of exchanging proper greetings with other Githzerai. Okay, cool. So, I'm going to see if... So I'm going to ask him if he knows himself now. Okay. So, what does it signify? Do you know where I can find my travel? Okay. Let's see if he knows. Farad. Okay. Do you know anything? Okay. Okay, we've already gone into that. So, let's take a look here. Anything back here? Let's take a look here. Anything else? So, Ilquick's Ebb Creekness. Well, now you're a sight, lad. Never seen so many scars blinking at a fella. Like a scar cloak you're wearing. Where you been, hanging out in a grain thresher? Ha! Oh, I'm just jesting with you, lad. No offense meant. I hope no offense taken. I'm Ebb. Greetings. Now, I hereby tender my apologies for the unfair jesting. Hope no hard feelings. Can buy you a trinket or two, something to smooth any ruffled feathers? Why not? That's the spirit, lad. Bide a moment. Here you go, lad. Drink up. What can old Ebb do for you on this fine sigil day? Oh, well, I gathered that just to look at you. I mean, you don't look like you're from around these parts, lad. You look a little too out of sorts to be a seasoned native. So what can I help you with? You need to know the lay of the land? Sure. Tell me about how this place works. So tell me about the lady. So, well now, not many know too much about her, and I'm figuring even those that do know more don't know too much more. She's a mystery, she is, and even should you run across her, powers forbid, she's silent and deadly. She's not evil, far as I can tell, but she keeps the dark about herself and sigil pretty tight. None's been able to penetrate it, and if they have, they've been amazed. What do you mean? Aye, sometimes bloods will be packed off to a place where they can't do no harm. The lady, see, she takes a bit of sigil and make a little dimensional pocket out of it, a maze. She places those who have crossed her in there and lets them rot. Now, you can't escape getting mazed once the lady sets her gaze on you, lad. She'll get you eventually, no matter how hard you try to dodge her. You'll be walking down an alley or about to step through a portal, and take a left turn down the street and you've many fold times before, and suddenly you're someplace you don't recognize. Now, mazes aren't escape-proof. There's always a way out of each one, a portal the lady places there. You just have to figure out where it is and how to use it. Okay. I'm actually going to ask this again and say go on. Chances are you won't meet her unless you do something really bad. Hurting a lot of people, killing a Dabus, challenging her rule, worshipping her. She hates that, we figure, or interfering with the Dabus's work. Which may as well be the lady's work. If you're lucky, just the mercy killers will come after you, but if she comes, you'll be dead as soon as her shadows fall on you. Now, the lady can do almost anything in Sigil, lad, near as we can figure. Make it bigger or smaller, make new portals, seal off old ones, make sure the Blood War don't break into the streets, keep folks from teleporting into the city, keep their powers out. Who are the powers? It's another way of saying gods, lad, and there's a great horde of them across the planets. They can't come to Sigil, though. The lady has a way of keeping them out that she hasn't spilled the chant of yet. Be that as it may, it's kept Sigil from being seized by outside interest. Interesting. Tell me about the Dabus. Or Dabus. Aye, those funny floating bloods that speak in symbols. Ha! Quite a piece of... The Dabus are kind of the lady's janitors and workmen, doing exactly what she wants to make sure that Sigil's running up to snuff. Patching walls, tearing down buildings, building new ones, setting up portals, sealing off others, and on and on. They're a pretty neutral-faring bunch, and you don't want to interfere with one or kill one, or you'll bring the lady's wrath down on you right quick. And I just lost stream on my thing. I'm going to check quick to make sure that I'm still... Looks like we're still live. Okay, so do not piss off the Dabus, do not piss off the... So tell me it's time. The way we measure time in Sigil is by the brightness of the sky. See, we haven't gotten a sun and moon like most worlds. We just have that everlasting haze that brightens or darkens at regular cycles. What most folks call midnight, we call anti-peak. What they call noon, we call peak. See, it's based on the peak and anti-peak of the brightness. That's when someone says something like 5 hours past peak, that's what they mean. Cool. Dabus time. Layout. Whew. Let me wet my tongue. The city floats above an infinitely tall spot there, the spire. It lies at the side of the discarded wagon wheel, but there's no spokes that connect it to the spire. It's divided into 6 wards, each of them with their own function. Right now, you're in the Hive. I think the purpose of the Hive is to be squalor for the rest of the city's grandeur. Factions, philosophical clubs, and gangs, if you prefer, divide up the running of the city between them. So, were you in a faction? Em raises his hands as if to stop you and laughs slightly. Oh, hold on, lad. I'm no has-been faction member, they say, and they're right, that once you're in one of the Harmonium, you're a Harmonium for life. We're the Bloods that try to make Sigil stay out of trouble. No rock in the spire, no folks getting too over-enthusiastic about hurting each other, keeping the city down to a low roar. We try to keep the peace, lad, and most times we do a decent job. Okay. So, layout again? Was that what we were looking on? Yeah. Okay. The city's called the Crossroads of the Plains and the City of Doors in the Cage. It's got portals all of creations, they say, and all manner of beasties come through here to trade, call kip, or hop from one plane to another. Now, that's just a quick version, lad. You'll have to experience the place for yourself. Sigil's called the City of Doors for a reason, lad. There's portals everywhere. Portals are, well, like doors that lead across the multiverse, except they don't look like doors. Instead, they look like any bounded space. Window, door, pothole, picture frame, barrel hoop, space inside a scaffolding, a wardrobe. Each could be a portal, waiting for the right key to touch it to take you to the multiverse. Now, keys. Each portal has a key you need to open it. Now, while portals can be any bounded space, keys have more variety. They can be anything from a little tune you hum into the portal, dancing to the jig, to being in the right mood, to having a piece of the place you want to go on hand. And on and on. In my youth, I once convinced a girl that kissing a man beside it would open a portal to Arcadia. Turned out I was right, and many trips to Arcadia did we have. Many portals probably would have never been found. There's some you can uncover just by asking people and getting the right key. Finding out the dark of the portal is the toughest part, but I warn you, lad. Portal hopping shouldn't be done pastime. Shouldn't be a pastime for a fella in your way. Nor should you be wandering Sigil after dark, neither. You'd do best to stick to the main ways in open peak and watch yourself. Anything else? I already asked about keys and portals, I think, but... Okay. Yeah. Other questions? So... Farad. Farad? Now, lad, what do you want to know about a Burke like that? Farad. I think he stole some of my belongings. Oh, no doubt, lad, no doubt. You have to chain everything up around that grasping little spider. He should have been one of the fated to go along. Fated the way anything not chained down slips into his parlor. Don't give him a yard or he'll take a league, eh? Well, now, I don't know everything there is to know about Old Farad, but I know some of the dark surrounding him. If you're determined to track down that spider and nail him to a wall, I suppose I could spill some of the chance so you know what you're tangling with. Farad dug his nest deep in Ragpicker Square not too long ago, got a bunch of collectors and gangs together, and started what could almost be considered a collecting faction. Be that as it may... Well, if you're looking to fur Farad, which I would say is pretty barmy of you, you're a little off the beaten path. You should be finding Ragpicker Square. Chant is that Farad set up his kip somewhere in the square. Even an old fellow like me, who's been around this ring a few times, don't know exactly where. I figure that Farad wants to keep the dark on his location dark. If you're all bound and determined to find Farad, go to Ragpicker Square and try to dig up the Farad's location from one of the locals. Try and be careful about it, since there's plenty in the square that make a gut harp out of you as soon as look at you. So, what about other places? I'm missing a journal. You're missing a journal? Was there more to the journal than just pages and words? Otherwise, I can't imagine too many bloods would bother themselves with letters unless it was hot and spicy. Not much use for books of learning around here. I don't know where you might find such a thing. But you know, lad, if Farad is the one who scraped you off the sigil street, he might know the dark of where your stuff is. It's most likely in his larder, if you ask me. A dead man is usually in no position to keep his possession when the collectors come calling. Okay. And... Have I asked him about himself? Ed Creekness, third measure of the harmonium, now retired and being a tout with this one's voice since I don't step as lightly as I might in the past 2 or 3 decades. Now, what do you... Who be you and what trouble you might you be in? What makes you think I'm in trouble? Lad, no one has as many scars as you and isn't in some sort of trouble, either from himself or from others. What do you make old Ed for? Blind? Ha! Look, I'm a little weathered around the edges, but I still got some sight and sense. Now what's dogging your ears and causing you some trouble? Mayhaps I can help with it. I woke up in mortuary and forgot who I am. Eh? Oh, was that you said, lad? You woke up in the mortuary? Oh, now. Did they mistake you for a dead under all them scars, perhaps? Can't say I would have been any smarter. Them dusties. I mean, them dustmen. Dusties being a rude term to refer to the pale-faced fellows, and I don't mean them too much disrespect. They have all the perception and friendliness of a gravestone sometimes, eh? Can't say I couldn't see them screwing up that. No, lad. Okay. What is this place? So who's the smoldering corpse? Him? Oh, no, corpse, lad. He's no deader him. Near as I can tell, old Ignis is still alive under that little roast pit. Near as I can find it, figure anyway. He can smell damnably awful sometimes, too. Keeps me on the pipe to make sure it don't worm into my nose, it does. So how'd he get here? Well, now, lad, Ignis had some smattering of problems and not slight wizardly magics to boot, and seldom do the two mix well, if you understand me. He liked to burn things, and he started charging places and people and generally making a bunch of trouble. Well, now, most of what this was going on in the Hive, and I'll be the first to admit the Hive's not the first place the Harmonium goes to keep Sigil's law. A failing on our part, since it may be the place where our presence is most needed. So by the ladies' reckoning, there was a little street-side justice in the wizardly community. A bunch of tea-leaf readers, hedge wizards, and midwife witches got together and managed to weave a spell that was kind of poetic justice. So now he sits there and burns. He's still alive, which I don't think they counted on. So, any places you can recommend? Well, this is perhaps the best kip you could have wandered into from the start. Judging by the tattoos, you might be partial to have some designs on your body, in which case there's a tattoo salon and a little spireward from here. You want to stay away from the alley of dangerous angles if you can. Ignis torched that place not long ago, and ever since, a bunch of bad bloods have set up their kip in this stretch of desert. Okay, so we're done with him. Candrian? You see a soft-looking man with gentle, far-seeing eyes, dresses in supple, blah blah blah. Greetings to you, O Seeker. I have seen the far reaches of the multiverse and returned to tell the tale. I have walked upon the bodies of dead gods and spun moonbeams in the astral ahead of 1,000 shrieking Githyanki knights. I have passed the edges of existence and watched my essence shiver away before me. What is that I can do for you? I had some questions. Okay, well, this guy says he's a planeswalker, so... I know the portal of which you speak, though I have not traveled it this 30 years. I'll take her home, Seeker. Go tell her to await my arrival and meet me back here. And if I tell you, I'll tell you whether it was successful or not. Okay, cool. So, we can go back to her, I guess. So I guess we're just going to pop back over there first. Seems like it might be nighttime now. So time is passing. And I'll deal with these hive thugs later.
Done.
So, where am I going? I'm not ugly. Okay, I'm ugly, but it's beside the point. So there's the frightened dweller. Here's Ingress. Greetings, Ingress. I found someone who can take you back to your home plane. I want to go. I want to leave this place. I'll go back to meet.
Updated my
Okay.
journal.
So we managed to find a way for her to get back home. Theoretically.
All right.
So there's the Githyanki and the Githzerai. He's Githzerai, I believe. And the Githyanki and the Githzerai are either the followers of Gith or the followers of Zerthamon, basically. The Tooth Woman wanted you to have these. She wanted to express her thanks even out of balance book, as it were, and be done with the damn things. In the palm of your hand are Ingress's dancing teeth, and he smoothly deposits them into your hand. Enjoy them, Seeker. Oh, okay.
Updated my journal.
So, let's see. I'm looking for a journal I lost. Fared Grip to be a collector? How long ago was this? When I set out last, he was but an officious stripling in one of the upper words. Heh, time does change some people. No, Seeker, I don't know Ferret anymore. I'm willing to bet. So, what are you doing? I'm fresh back from negation. I'm trying to restore my essence before it slips away from me altogether. I went to the inner planes to discover my true essence. I made the mistake of visiting the negative material plane in order to understand my body's urge to decay and the cycle of death and life. I thought myself protected against the ill effects of the plane with my magic, but I was wrong. The blackness of infinite nothing pressed on my soul, and I was beset by shadows that sought to snuff my very soul. I lost my way for a time, for an eternity, and nearly lost my existence. I could feel my essence falling away from me, and I'm even now half gone. Never will I return. So how'd you survive?
Updated my journal.
How did I survive? With a piece of nothing that held back the nothing. Nothing can stop nothing, you know? So I carried nothing in my hand to protect me. Do you plan to journey to the ultimate negation yourself? You have the smell of desperation about you, so I make you this gift. Hold it in your hand when the shadows press in, and you should protect you and your friends somewhat, should they remain close to you. Heh. So it gives you a black token that has no dimensionality to it at all. Thanks. Tell me more about the planes. Ask and I shall tell you the best I can. Would you like to hear about the outer planes, the prime material, or the inner planes? The difference is true essence, Seeker. The inner planes are matter, substance, true physicality. They are the building blocks of the multiverse, for it is from them that all belief in the elements springs. The inner planes filter through the real planes, the plane of potential, some say, which forms the elements into the worlds of mortals. Once past the other real plane, one reaches into the prime material, where exists all manner of mortals and monsters and myths and machines. It is there where belief is born, and there that the spirits that create the outer planes are born. When mortals die, they pass through the astral plane, and no place that is thought and mental energy itself. It is in all things and is none. It is a paradox among other things, and filters the spirits of the great ring. Do you comprehend? Sure. Now, the outer planes, where should I start? Do you know the cardinal rules of the planes on which the others are based? Do you know about the composition of the outer planes? Do you know the Great Ring and its division of hearts? Do you know about the individual planes? Each of these leads to the next, and so it is best to start at the beginning. So tell me the composition. So the outer planes are formed by belief and thought and faith. They take their imagined form from the prime material plane, shaped into forms that stagger the imagination, built by accumulation of belief. Belief creates the planes. Belief is power. Here. Change belief and you can change the nature of reality. The creatures that are born here, the plane-born, like the fiends and celestials, are truly born of the thoughts and concepts of mortals. They each express some sort of ideal, and the more powerful the ideal, the more powerful the being. Thus, the being that symbolizes love is one of the strongest of all. That's why the powers, gods we call them, live out here. This is where all the faith in them comes. This is where they are at their most pure and they're strong. Their realms are extensions of their very beings, manifestations of their godly essence, all of it informed by belief. Okay, tell me about the Great Ring, then. Among the loose unity of planeswalkers, we conceive of our infinite outer planes as a ring surrounding the plane of ultimate neutrality, the Outlands. The spire atop which Sigil sits is in the center of Outlands. The further one travels away from the spire, the less neutral the plane grows, until it spills into the neighboring planes. Each of these planes impinges on the Outlands, spinning themselves into law and chaos, good and evil. The Great Road marks the demarcation between the Outlands and the gate towns that spark up around the plains, and the gates to the plains. Beyond the gate towns lie the hinterlands, uncharted territories that's lost to history and loses thought. Danger lies in the hinterlands. The outer planes differ by morality, not substance. For you, we'll divide the planes into three sets: the upper planes of good, the lower planes of evil, and the boundary planes of neutrality. These are then divided further by law and chaos, the upper Outlands in the middle. Which of these? Okay, so the upper planes, there are neutral planes, the lawful planes, and the chaotic planes. Is he going to tell me about every plane individually? The neutral upper planes contain the Beastlands, the room of neutrality and goodness, with a slight tinge of chaos, where the animals rule the eternal noon and night. They hold Bitopia, the twin paradise of industry and labor, where all work toward the good of all, and Elysium, the sweetest plane of goodness and calm I have ever come across. Alas, right now I'm not well enough to enjoy their restorative effects. What would you hear of now? Wow, so I can go with, like... I don't want to read all this. I don't want to read all this out loud. Alright, so... I'm curious to see whether any of this is stuff that the... Let's see. Ooh, there's a lore. Aye, the blood war. At the name, the blood feels as if it freezes in your veins. Ilborn doesn't seem to notice, wrapped up as his memories. Two armies of fiends smashing together and pointlessly across the lower plains, slaughtering mindlessly in the name of law and chaos. They'll aggrandize it, of course, but in the end, it's about hate and stupid endeavor that aids none and harms far too many. Tell me about Carcerai. So Carcerai is the poisonous jungle. Ooh, that sounds unpleasant. Strength of the prison is this. So there's a prison called the Red Prison that there's almost no way out of. Interesting.
Updated my journal.
Okay, so as much as I detest the order of the lawful upper planes, at least they present a modicum of goodness. Their lower planar counterparts, though, Acheron's a place of ricocheting cubes that never see an end to battle, swarming with the souls of dead humanoids. Beator is a place best avoided. The Batezu, the fiends in the corner there, are the mere expression of the deviant corruption embodied in that soulless machine of order. If you want more, talk to them, but remember, all that is bad about bureaucracy and order originates from the Beator, and it spreads like a stain across the hearts of mortals. Though there is some knowledge to be found there, it is rarely worth the spiritual rape the plane inflicts. So lawful, chaotic now. The Abyss isn't some place you should consider going. Where Beator is all orderly, the Abyss is full of chaos and change, and none of it's pleasant. When it becomes something approximates normality, that's when it should be most wary of it. It's home of the Tanari, most crimes called demons, and they've got the name for a reason. They are unpredictable and murderous, and the few you can trust are few and far between. The few I've met who I trust, I still don't trust entirely. They're creatures of chaos and evil incarnate, and if they're putting on a friendly face, who's to say it's not part of a larger agenda? Okay. So we got through all of those, and I think we're done here. So, okay. Whew. We managed to survive our conversation with that guy. And I think we've talked to everyone with an interesting name here. I'm going to talk to this guy. And I'm going to go... Alright. I don't think that I have anything else to talk to him about quite yet, so we're going to go ahead and head outside. And let's see here. We're now... It's now in the middle of the night. There's an angry hive dweller here. Greetings. Okay. Okay, so these guys are attacking me now. Damn it, I just took 12 damage? Jesus Christ.
I'm gone.
Oh god, that's a lot of thugs. So he's trapped, he can't get out now.
What's up?
Whoa, jeez.
All right.
Yeah.
Done.
So now he's running away. Now he's toast.
I'm gone.
Oh shit. Ooh.
What? Sure, why not?
I'm gone.
Da-da-da-da. So he's toast. Continuing on.
All right.
So that hive thug is not hostile yet.
What's the word, Chief?
All right.
Yet being the operative word there. Oh shit. Okay, well, it automatically unpaused the game when I went out of my inventory. Ow! Poor guy. Okay. So we finished there. Well, not quite.
What's up?
So this guy is now attacking us.
Gone.
Oh, Jesus.
Sure, why not?
Damn it.
Poor Dagon.
Done.
Jesus Christ, these guys are way stronger. So... Okay, I'm just gonna reload. Okay, so we ended up with an absolutely massive swarm there. So I'm gonna try to...
Endure. In enduring
What's
grow
up? Sure, why not? Good as done.
so
What? Sure, why not? What's up? Good as
I'm
done.
hurt. Done.
What's the work?
Done.
What's up? Sure, why not?
All right.
Yeah, sure, why not?
this guy's now running. Okay. So,
I hear your will be done.
Huh? Okay.
All right.
so we've got another one of these stark dog barking thugs
Good as done.
that seem to be
Right.
a bit more
What's up, Chief? Sure.
variable in their targets.
Your will be done.
All right.
Balance in all things.
What's the word, Chief?
I'm gone.
It is I.
So what spells do you have access to?
What's up?
Not gonna worry about.
I'm gone.
So Tacone is at full HP, so
I shall serve.
All right.
okay.
I hear your will be
See
done.
that?
So that guy's toast. Now we just have one more to deal with. Well, two more.
Your path is mine.
Oops.
I'm gone.
We have one more of the original thugs to deal with. There we go. So,
Balance. I shall serve.
oops.
You see that?
Nice.
It is I shall serve.
Done. Okay, so we need to kill 3 of those guys. Got a rusty dagger. We can save the game. And just grab all this crap off the ground. And at some point we're gonna have to rest.
Done.
We have not rested yet.
You've got to see it to believe it. The Burning Man right here, right inside.
This is probably the worst place we can be in Sigil at the worst time.
All right.
I said greetings. Okay, so he's attacking me now.
Endure.
What?
In
I'm gone.
enduring, grow strong.
So we have to kill 3 of these guys.
Did you see that?
And there's another one of them.
What's up, Chief?
All right.
Oh shit.
I shall serve.
What's the good as done?
I'm gone.
I will hear you.
Damn it.
Okay, so that's 3, right? Okay, so I think we've just killed 3 of those guys, which means that we should have completed that quest. Oh! If I press H, it brings up that. That's good to know. Alright, so... So I need to kill 3 of them. That has been done. Okay, well. Oh. I'm going to talk to Mourns for Trees again, now that we have... I just wanted to ask Dakon to help you. One finds your request most intriguing. Trees in the hive, like cities in limbo. They would stand as a testament to the will of the people not to bow to that which surround and devour them. To take what has been thrust upon them or left behind and make good of it. I too will take care of these trees. And... Yes, friend, there has been. They're so slight you can barely see it, but look. Fresh sap from the trunk and a handful of new buds. It's only a matter of time. Thank you again for giving me hope once again. Let's see. And... okay. And the trees are dying because nobody cares about them, and this is, of course, one of the planes. So... I doubt this Barrier guy is special, but I'll talk to him anyway. Greetings. What do you want, Two Legs? Only to talk to you. What do you wish to ask me? Why are you so worried at me? This place, a wretched, unclean place, is full of unfriendly and sometimes desperate people. Not the best place for a visiting Barrier Two Legs. I have business here, though, and here I am. Okay. What are you here for? Another time, Two Legs. If we ever meet in a happier place, I shall tell you all about it. So you don't live here? No, Two Legs. No Barrier could live with like this. So where are you from? From the plains of Isgard, Two Legs. They are my home. Okay. This guy is like just some random visitor, so I don't think that we need to ask him about too much. So we've got hive thugs here. And let's see here. We've got... there's so many hive thugs here. So who's Amaris? Seeking some company, love. Nope. Okay, well. Who's July? So he's rounding, right? Was it? Who? Okay, so he's not someone that I can really say anything to yet. Barking Wilder. So this is some crazy looking guy. His eyebrows from reviews, he said, "Hand might take the moon fly too." That's some questions. Answer split with half blues oil. No, self your question. Okay. Well, that's a tree with one snapped branch too many. No sense in chatting with their Barbie bunch. Okay. Oh, another hive thug attacking. Imagine that.
Will be done.
Done.
What's up?
Okay, I'll have these two attack. So he's going after my
All right.
companion. So that guy's now running.
And I shall serve.
Done.
I can now go attack this guy.
Serve.
Get destroyed. Wow, that was fast. Holy crap. Okay, so we can save the game.
Done.
And let's take a look here. Where are we going to go? We already talked to Mourns for Trees. We've got some improvement there. And let's see. Got another hive thug here. I have 14 HP, so I'm doing better than I was before. And I'm going to go talk to the woman who is mourning over here. Oh, the Star of Dogs working and pen 3 of them in the dead
My
book.
journal.
The powers be not blind in their justice to say. Here you are. A pretty bit this should fetch. It's worth 33 coppers at least, I'm sure. It belonged to one of my sisters. She won't be needing it anymore.
Go ahead, drop it.
Okay, well I dropped something. Alright, we clearly need to find a store that we can sell some crap to. And we're gonna just drop everything into his inventory. Oh, Ingris's teeth. So this is 1d6 crushing.
Hey.
Okay, so we're gonna go into his inventory, use them. Oh, so you can change the damage type. Okay, so we don't need to change those. So this is all well and good. Triangle earring, iron pry bar. What else am I selling? So this is a negative token. So turning it over reveals there's no third dimension. There's no thickness to that item at all. It gives you some command over creatures of shadow. You can command them to stand still for a few precious seconds. The more powerful the shadow, the less likely it will obey your command. As an added benefit, as long as the ward is carried by any of your party members, it acts as a ward against shadows. It will not prevent shadows from attacking your group, but the shadow will still find it difficult to harm you while the token is carried. So that's cool. And what else am I going to sell? I don't really need these runes. Yes, I do. Okay, so he's just gonna learn all. Oh, wait. There we go. So that cuts a bit of stuff out there. So, Dustman request, some bandages. Okay, I think I completely missed this earring. Save the game. Let's take a look. I need how much experience? I need a lot of EXP to level. But you level way faster in this game than you do in most of the other Infinity Engine games. I'm already level 5 again from level 1. And a lot of that experience doesn't come from combat. I haven't gained much experience from combat at all. Most of it comes from just talking to people.
Done.
Alright, so is there this is a warehouse. I'm just gonna see if I can sell the jewelry here.
I'm gone.
Because if I can sell a bunch of jewelry to these guys, then I might be able to get my eye back. Okay, so right. So I don't think this is like a standard store.
I'm gone.
So I'm gonna go in this warehouse. This might be a good place to sell stuff.
Done.
Okay.
All right.
Oh great, somebody just decided to attack me.
Balance in all things. It is your will be done.
I'm gone.
Endure, I shall serve.
Damn it.
Oh! Them deeps.
I shall serve.
Damn it.
Okay, so he switched never mind.
I shall serve.
He tried to switch targets.
Done.
Okay.
Balance. Your
So
will
this
be
is
done.
jewelry. Let's give it to him.
All right.
And I'm not sure how much this stuff is going to be worth. But hopefully we can find some place that will find value in it.
I'm gone.
So this is the place with the market. So we're going to pop over there. And let's see if this guy is willing to buy. Okay, I can sell... Ooh, this charcoal charm is worth a lot. So is the Dome of Bone and Ash. So he doesn't have anything that I need to be too interested in. So this is a lot of money that we just made. Okay, so we are set. Antler axe. Okay, done. Okay, so we now have more than enough money to get this eye. And that's what we're gonna do.
I'm gone.
So July is some drunk that we don't need to worry about. Just pop over here.
All right.
And what am I gonna do? Talk to Barkus again. I'd like it back. Okay, here you go. He produces a darkened, wax-stoppered, wide-mouthed bottle from his pocket. You hear a sound of liquid sloshing around inside it, along with a heavier, squishier noise. Opening it, the stench of some preservative agent nearly makes you gag. Floating in the viscid muck is an eyeball. You better figure out what you want to do with it. Now that you've exposed it to the air, you might as well put a pickled egg in the jar for all the good it'll do you. Make up your mind. Pickled egg or not? Okay. With a moment's hesitation, you reach into your socket and pop your eye into the palm of your hand. The bartender helpfully severs the optic nerve and directs your hand to the jar of goo and sits on the bar. You deposit your eye in the preservative, wrap your fingers around the old one, and slide it into your empty socket. The pain of the entire operation is incredible. After a moment, though, you can see the optic nerve reattaching itself to the new eye, and suddenly you're hit by a flash of memory. So memory flash, a vast expanse of chaotic, ever-changing wasteland stretching before you. A group of humanoid vultures plummeting toward you, cruel weapons ready to strike, and your own shining blade clutched tight in your fist. 3 tufts surround you, the colors of the enemy you can't quite place. Long daggers glisten in your hands, and light glints cruelly off the exposed teeth. You glance at your scarred hands and know that you'll soon be covered in blood. An enormous frog-like creature comes bounding over you through the chaos stuff, heading for you with a mouthful of teeth. You hurl your javelin through the shifting matter and pin the creature to a sudden stone plinth. You've recalled some of your last fighting skills. Okay. Proficiency points increased permanently. Cool. So. Very cool. So what did I get proficiency points in? I think I just got an unused proficiency from that. Okay. I guess I should talk to the Mercy Killers, why not? So he has no interest in speaking to me. Hello. Okay. So he has no interest in doing anything. And we can now pop out.
Done.
Oh my god, my HP is so low. Imagine that, pulling your eye out of its socket hurts you. Who would have thunk? Okay, so I think I'm done with all the quests that I've obtained so far. So we're gonna go to... We haven't gotten all of them, actually. We need to talk to this Craddock guy.
Done.
I think we find him over here, right? Okay, Craddock. Okay, so we're just gonna explore this place fully. So this man's looking at you with strange bug-eyed stare. His eyes are huge, so huge that they look ready to pop out of his sockets and roll across the cobblestones. He nods eagerly as you approach, bobbing his head like a bird. As you stand near him, you suddenly notice the smell of urine and feces surrounding him. Greetings. So, stories for coin? Who are you? Names, names. Who are you? Who are you? Names, dangerous, dangerous. Dangerous? Knowing a name or being stuck with one. Both's a mess of trouble. My name's a given name, not one asked for. Reekwind. Okay, a given name, a given name. Is that your real name? Not my true name, true name. A true name's a dangerous thing, gives others power. Keep your name secret, keep it close, never let it out. Names are like smells, things can track you with them. If someone knows a true name, it gives them power, the power to hurt.
Updated my journal.
I don't know my true name. Then you are blessed, blessed. Remain nameless and you shall be as a spirit on the plains, untraceable, untrackable, unseen, undiscovered. A name chosen, a name given. It allows others to find you and hurt you. So have you been hurt? Teach you the story I can, I will, but 3 coppers must I see. Okay, take. Cursed, walk to the plains in splendor. Da da da.
Updated my journal.
Crossed paths with a crossed one. Had the looking of a pumpkin, his seeds cursed. Okay. Press his belly out. All a jumble with curses this one was. With a sneer, a careless gesture, he tosses the invisible curse at the stuffy persona. Knew my name, let it slip I had all of it, took it all. Cursed with stenches, smells, excrement. Came here to tell tales, all good for now. Now Reekwind is the name, given name, given name. Okay. Tell me about Farid. A noble tale. Okay. So once a man of respect, Farid was a man of goals of position. All became nothing, turned to air. Turned to air and stink. A liar, a cheater, a man who twisted law. Then one day he found out he had twisted himself. Such a liar he had become, and when he died, he was to go to a horrible place. Farid would not accept it, would not. He had cheated others, he would cheat his fate too. He read Duggan books and consulted seers, and they told him that only in trash could he find that which would let him cheat his fate. Perhaps they lied.
Updated my journal.
Interesting. Farid threw away his position, his goals, and took up a new title. He became the king of rags. He would rule the trash, have his subjects search it all, and find that which he needed. He looks even now. So do you know where I can find him? He lives amongst rags and trash. There you will find him. Okay. Journal. No journal have I seen. I'd like to hear, sorry. I want to hear the story of the man who came to this city without name or memory and spoke with the cursed storyteller who warned him of the danger of names. Where would such a tale begin? It'd begin with a man waking up in mortuary, believed dead, but in truth only his memories are dead. Dead but not dead, no memories, no memories. He escapes mortuary, enters the hive, and speaks to the man who let his true name slip once and who has regretted it. Regretted it. Yes, yes, much danger in naming. Perhaps the man whom the Nameless One speaks is a warning of the danger of names. Perhaps he has forgotten his name is better off. Is he? Is it better to suffer the truth with all its consequences, or to be better to remain ignorant? Which of the two men is better off? It is your question, your tale. It is you who must answer it. I'm gonna go with this one. No, I think I want to hear your answer. My answer. My answer. My answer is this. They are both fools, but only one knows himself a fool. That's interesting. Okay. Spireward and Spireward. Danger in an alley of dangerous angles. Not always angled, not always burned and charred. Once alive, no longer. Flames, fire. The alley burned, great smoke, ash everywhere. In the end, only skeletons of buildings remained. Bones of dead buildings, bones of dead buildings. Angles everywhere, angles.
Updated my journal.
Dangerous now, bad men have set their kip there. That is the tale of how the street became the Valley of Dangerous Angles. How did they start? A man made it so, a beast made it so, a man whom even fiends admire. A sorcerer's tale filled with madness, sadness, burning, yearning. A tale I can tell, but for 3 coppers. A dangerous tale, dangerous tale. A sorcerer there was, no simple hedge witch of this, but a mage of power. Requin, he burned with the art, and the art burned him. The name given him was Ignis, a name respected, then feared, then hated, then punished. Taught by one of the last great magi, Ignis was, and as an apprentice, Ignis learned much, and nothing at the same time. In his heart, his coal-black heart, a fire blazed. It burned, and it hungered. As it hungered, Ignis hungered, and it was his wish to see the plains burn. In the night, Ignis came to the alley that was to be the Alley of Angles, the fire in his eyes and the fire in his heart. Both he let out. Requin points at the alley, screaming and laughing, etc., etc. Flesh ran like wax, people like candles, and Ignis laughed and laughed. And evil was done, and forgotten not. Something was to be done. A punishment was decided. All the hedge wizards, midwives, rune tellers, copper pinching wizards, all manner of magelings, they came all. Even those with the smallest trace of art to punish Ignis. Separately they were flies. Together, dangerous. Caught Ignis, granted his wish. He wished to burn. They granted it, using his own desire to fuel the casting. They made his body a door to the plane of fire and intended to kill him.
Updated my journal.
Failed. Ignis lived, only slept, blanket of flames. Flames turned in his sleep as he burned, never happier. Burning, ever burning. One day he will wake, and then the plains shall burn. Alright. Cool. So, let's see how much money we have left. We have 252 coppers left, which isn't terrible. And let's see here. That's the Alley of Dangerous Angles. We don't really want to go in there. How much EXP do I need? Boatload, so it's going to be a while. Alright, I think I'm going to take a break here for now. This is a very it's a very dense game in terms of plot and story. So rather than complete this next area now, I think I'm going to just take a break. And then later on today, or possibly tomorrow, it is 2 o'clock, so probably later today, but maybe not, we'll see. I will sort of just pop back in here and we'll be doing some more. So thank you everyone for watching. It has been a pleasure to stream for you today, and I hope to stream more of this for you guys later.